You know when you hit the live button earlier than you want to, but then all of a sudden you find out you're live and it's too late? Hi, welcome. Me and Tommy are going to have a conversation today. No, I'm just kidding. We were ready. But Thomas, we were just talking about some of the books, like starting, what did you say, starting in like Hosea, um,
Yeah,
going,
Hosea through Zechariah for sure.
yeah, those are good.
They call them the minor prophets. I don't know why they call them minor prophets, but maybe because their books are small.
Yeah, it could
Their
be.
words, yeah, their
It
words
could
weren't
be.
much.
Like where you'd look at like Jeremiah or something might not be a minor prophet. I don't know. Does it, Jeremiah's a pretty thick book. Hey
For
Corey,
sure.
what's up? Good to see you, Corey. I'm gonna
Isaiah,
Isaiah. Yeah, that's another one. Yep.
Psalms too. Yeah, they got long verses.
So yeah, and also we didn't really read many Psalms last week, so we can do that this
You know
week
what we
too.
should read
What?
is Jeremiah 51. Yep.
Oh man, that would be awesome. I'll open it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, do you want to do that now, or do you want to do that after
Yeah,
we?
we can do that now.
That
That's
would probably
fine
be a
with me.
good way to start,
Yeah,
huh?
I just thought about that. But remind me about that verse.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah,
try to
about
find.
the Tower
Yeah,
of Babel thing. Yeah, keep looking,
the
keep
second
looking.
time.
Um,
It caught my ear. I was like, what did that just say? A second time.
yeah, that
It's
sounds weird.
it sounds like, and I like we talked about this before we came on. The
Yeah, maybe explain what we were talking about.
it sounds like some of these prophets were talking about, maybe they were talking about things that were happening then, like Jerusalem and stuff like that being under attack. And but to me, it sounds like this is happening now, like in a different.
Like it's a prophecy of the future, but it might have happened. Uh,
And Joe, it says in some of the verses like the day of the Lord or in that day.
or like in
So,
Ezekiel, it says the end is come upon thee.
yep,
The
chapter
end.
7
Yeah.
for sure, for
So I
sure.
got Jeremiah 51 here. You know what I'm gonna do is I'll do a screen share. Let's see. How do I do that? Or not a
It's
screen
long.
share.
It's a long
Sorry.
verse.
Oh, there we are.
Oh,
Let's
you're
see.
good.
Desktop. Okay, you guys see Jeremiah 50? Or no, let me get it on the page here. I got it on my page.
Where'd you get that 1980s TV television from?
From the internet. What happened here? Why won't it? Oh, I'm on a different video. Okay, okay. I gotta remove this. Okay. Now if I go, or no, I gotta go just to me. Sorry guys, I'm a little slow today. You got Jeremiah 51, right?
Yep.
All right. Should I just start reading and I'll just keep reading until I get worn out, and then I'll hand over the baton. How's that?
There you go.
Okay. It titles it here Severe Judgment Against Babylon.
Let me just say something before you start it.
All right.
People that are seeing true creation, just think about space, what they
Mm-hmm.
say space is, and what mankind's supposedly doing. Like today, there's a dragon going up. It's supposed to be launching in like another hour, I think,
Yeah.
with four
Is
people
that
on
that
it.
got astronauts? Yeah, I was gonna say that's the
Yeah,
Crew 5 or Crew 6.
I think it's got. I don't know what it is, the mission number, but it's. I know there's four people on
They're
it.
4. Okay.
Yeah, and it's just a
Yeah.
single
What a world.
South Falcon 9. Yeah,
And it still
I,
amazes me that ministry channels
mm,
do videos about the dragon or about Satan and don't bring up the dragon. I don't
I
understand
put in.
that.
I put in the NASA live chat. I put. I wonder if that's the dragon that it speaks of in Revelation 12. That's in war and war going
Mm-hmm.
on in heaven. I said. I
Yeah.
said. They better hope not.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
so. Well, the
yeah.
whole world better hope not, you know?
That's people in the chat too that are cheering it on. It's scary.
So
Scary.
when we read this Jeremiah 51, let's do something a little different than we usually do. Like instead of just reading everything right on through, if something sticks out to you, stop me and we'll
For
talk about
sure.
it. Because I
That
there's
sounds
a
good,
few
man.
things just looking at this page that we have open right now, just the part we can see. There's already a few things to me that are like Babylon is suddenly fallen. I want, like Tommy was saying, realize in the time we live in that there is a place like this up in the sky, or we were taught that there's a place like this up in the sky.
Right.
But this is speaking of Babylon, but it sounds a lot like what Anthony. Oops, I can't get my mouse over there. What Anthony was talking about, as in the days of Noah, so it shall it be in the day of the coming of the Son of Man. Good to see you, Anthony, and Villager, and Call for Zero, and Corey, of course, and Andrew, and Thomas Morgan was first in the chat. Ooh, and Big Tim in God We Trust Patriot. Good to see you. Okay, so yeah, let's like I'm not afraid to stop and talk about the verses while we're in the middle of them.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do it.
All right. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. Hey, thrust. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that makes me think of Ezekiel. It says the streets, the city is full of bloody crimes.
Oh yeah,
And they make it a threshing floor and a highway.
It's like
right here.
They're treading Jerusalem underfoot.
Just remember it right here in chapter or verse 1, right there. Them that rise up.
Yeah, there we go. There's another. Yep, against God.
Against me, which would be God. Yep.
So destroying wind.
Where's God at?
Man, that's crazy. Okay. I will raise up against Babylon. You got me thinking about this verse again now. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I don't understand the way that it's word, like the grammar or whatever. Mm-hmm. Is he saying that he's going to send a destroying wind, or is he saying that they're rising up against him with a destroying wind? Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I think he's going to. It's it's spoke of, and a lot of these prophets talk about it. That wind, that destroying wind. Remember, Joe. It's
a
God's
tempest, a great tempest,
a great tempest. Yep. It's God's will that this be done.
He's not doing it, but he's
allowing it
using to happen. He's using them to fulfill what was declared, I guess, right?
Yep. The words that were written or spoke. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Mikey Smith is here. Good to see you, Mikey. Haven't seen you for a while. And God is real. I like that. Mikey says God is real. No doubt.
The archer that bendeth his bow.
Yeah.
What were they doing in the Tower of Babel, Joe? They were shooting arrows
up to heaven and trying to kill God.
So that would be like Nimrod right there, or Nimrod's spirit.
Yeah. Hey, Will, good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Excuse me. I'm drinking coffee and I just burped into my microphone. That's rude.
Oh, you're good. This whole 51 right here is the judgment. This is the Babylon spoke of in Revelation.
Yeah.
Yep. This is the final desolation of Babylon. I just want people to know that.
Mm-hmm. So
this isn't talking about Babylon in Nimrod's day.
Oh, this is an interesting verse too. The next verse is 5, and it says, "For Israel hath not been forsaken, nor Judah of his God, of the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense."
What was it in Revelation, Joe? It said that it took the oil and the grain and the corn and the souls of men.
Yes.
That's it right there.
Yeah, the souls of men. So it's like her merchandise is
Yep.
one of the things of her merchandise is the souls of men, which is kind of intimidating if you think about it.
This is the same in Revelation where it's saying, "Come out of her, my people."
Same thing. Yep. Flee
Same
out of the
thing.
midst of Babylon. Deliver every man his soul.
I'm just
Yep.
trying to get people to maybe if they're seeing this was in the past, this is definitely talking about the time of Revelation.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. So all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. Why would Jeremiah have that in this chapter? Why would he have that in there if he didn't mean something going up to the skies, reaching up to heaven? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, it's Revelation right there. It's for her sins have reached up to heaven. It's the same.
Yep. Same thing.
Same thing.
Same Babylon.
It's pretty much quoted word to word almost.
Yeah. The Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Ooh, I like that. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our God. Declaring. That reminds me of Isaiah, declaring former things.
Yeah, but what's it say in Revelation that when dragon's being cast out, it says, "Now has come salvation
and strength in the kingdom of our God." Yep.
Yep. This is talking about the same righteousness comes out of Zion.
Yep. Yeah, and this next verse here, verse 11, this one is kind of a big deal, I think, if we want to understand, like, these spirits of the kings of the Medes, and, like, these, I think that's the fallen angels, like those gods of old, or small g gods of old, you know? I think it's important to realize that they can manifest, they don't have to, like, they're not a walking, talking, breathing, manifestation necessarily, like you'd think, like a demon or something. It doesn't necessarily, it's not like a being. It would come as something material. And so what I'm saying is, I think that we have to be careful. We know what they're doing, launching rockets and all this stuff.
It's leading mankind to go up among the stars. That's what it wants it to do. It's like a spirit that's taken over them.
We could even say that, to me, that's like the spirit of exploration that NASA's always talking about.
Oblivion.
That would be like Apollo or something, or Nimrod, or, you know, some of those.
It's the spirit of fornication.
Yes.
It's in Enoch. It's, what is it? He calls it oblivion.
Or yeah, that might be the vision of St. Paul when he's looked at the firmament. Yeah.
Yep.
He said he looked back at the firmament and saw oblivion that deceives,
draws down the hearts of men.
Yep, draws down to itself the hearts of men. And I'm thinking planets. Like, it's so clear to me that that's talking about those planets. But anyway, verse 11 says, "Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. For his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple." There was a question that Anthony put in the chat that we might have just answered without even trying, so I'm going to put it up. Eftupworld, what do y'all consider as the wrath of Yah, and whose wrath is it? Is it the Father's wrath, or is it the Son's wrath? Good question. I'm the second part of the question. I'm not sure if it's the Father's wrath or the Son's wrath. I don't really know, but the wrath of God, I think we've just in this verse we just might have read about it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. So
it's good to see you, Anthony.
Yeah, good to see you for sure, bro.
For sure, man. I would say that the Word of God, who's the Son of God, is the
judgment or
hand.
whatever.
He's going to be the one pouring it out, but it's coming from the Spirit of the Father.
Okay.
That's how I would look at that.
That makes sense to me
Yeah.
too. I think in heaven, it's not saying that they're one being or something, but in heaven, the Father and the Son are in heaven. I'm talking about. I think
Yeah.
that God or the Father is like this, the King of heaven or whatever you want to call it. But like on the earth, Jesus judges everything on the earth. I think so. I don't know though. So here we go. Were we on verse 12? Yeah. Set up
Yeah.
the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. Oh, this is a good verse right here. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. The Lord of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, Surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift a shout against thee. He hath made the earth by his power, he hath established the world by his wisdom, and hath stretched out the heaven by his understanding. When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens. I love that. There's a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causeth the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. Oh, I'm getting that sound, Thomas.
Are you going over? Switch over now.
Thank you. He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. Every man is brutish by his knowledge. Every founder is confounded by the graven image, for his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. They are vanity, the work of their errors. In the time of their visitation, they shall perish. The portion of... Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Where are they visiting? And that's how this other verse right here. The next one is That's how you're gonna know that it's Jacob's people.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that you were talking about that last week, or maybe we were talking during the week. I don't remember, but you were talking about Jacob and Israel, and I'm like, I'm a little confused when it comes to that, like how that's used in that way. But we can only learn.
One of the apocryphy says that I can't never say that tribe name right. Esau, I think. Esau, yeah. It says that they're the end. They're the end of the end of the world will be through them, and then Jacob's people are the new people. But the people that are involved, the wicked, they are actually the new people. Like they've been deceived by Satan. The whole world was deceived by Satan, but
but some people come out.
Some people come out, and some people don't. Yep.
Flee out of the midst of her, right? Flee. Run away. Sure. Turn around. That's what repentance is.
That's why we're here today doing what we're doing.
Yep.
I am.
No, me too.
I really want people to understand what space is.
And I want people to understand what space isn't.
That's it.
Like, it's definitely not a place to explore, but the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things. Okay, this is exactly what you just said. For he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. Here we go, Babylon's punishment. Ready? Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms, and with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. With thee also I will break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. That to me, that sounds like he's talking about, like, almost reminds me of Matthew 10:34, I think, when he says, think not that I come to bring peace, but a sword.
Right.
Like, I think that, and even with the truth in this little truth community that we find ourselves in, that a lot of people have suffered a lot of that, it seems.
Oh, yeah. Lost people around them.
Yeah, I've seen people get divorced. I've seen people not talk to their parents anymore or their children anymore, and that's sad.
What if, I just throw this out there on like layman's terms, what if the world was involved in something that was literally going against God in heaven? And we're talking about their children and their just everyone. Like, and then God was showing us that, hey, you're like lifting up a shout against me. You're like,
I'd call that the grace of God that He'd be letting us know, because if we were in a generation that was all wrong, where would we know the truth from? Where would we know what's right? How would we know? It's like the Bible's our only guide to know, and it's His Spirit. He sends His Spirit to show us.
There you go. That's what I was fixing to say. Yep.
Yep.
Got it.
And I think we're all witness. A lot of us are witness to that happening.
That's right. I see it definitely happening.
So I think we were on 22. With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break. Oh, I already read that one. Okay, 23. I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, and with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers, and I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith the Lord. Where's Zion?
In heaven.
Yeah.
So
what are they doing with, like, in our presence? You just said before, like, not even 5 minutes ago probably, that they're launching a dragon, like, this afternoon with 4 astronauts on it up to the sky. And even if people think it's fake, what are they doing? They're launching a dragon up to the sky, even if you think it's fake.
The world believes in it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like, even if it's something sinister and something deceitful, they're still doing it, and, like, the whole world is going along with it, it seems.
You know what it makes me think of? I think I said this last week, and it keeps sticking to me. When Jesus said that where your heart be, seek, put your heart in heaven, seek the heavenly things, and wherever your heart will be, that's where you will be. Like, I think that's why he said the kingdom of heaven is within you. Because if you're seeking, if you know God's in heaven and you're seeking His holy mountain and His city of truth, then that's where your soul's going to be. Like, that's why I think these children and the old men, and they're going to be slayed, because their heart, there's no holy mountain up there to them. It's eternal darkness.
Yeah, exactly. And it even talks about that in the book of John. It's like they're already condemned because they love
the darkness rather than the light.
Exactly.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I like to have a little conversation. I mean, we could read straight through this, but we would miss so much if we didn't stop, I think.
We're trying to explain it the way we're seeing it.
Yep. Just our point of view, or my point of view. And me and Thomas don't always have the same point of view, but
we're pretty close, though.
Yeah. When we do talk, it seems like we see eye to eye on a lot of stuff. So why not?
For sure.
Why not go on YouTube and talk about it, right?
There you go.
Okay. I think we were in verse 25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith the Lord, which destroyest all the earth, and I will stretch out my hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. What's that talking about? Is it Mars?
I know it says right here. What sticks out to me is which destroyeth all the earth.
Yeah.
And the mountain. Is that talking about?
Is that the space station?
Is that Zion Mountain?
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Maybe he's talking about Zion.
It's going in Joel. That's what we're going to talk about in a little while. It says the elements melt in heaven, like the host of heaven are dissolved.
What up, Jess Palmer?
What's up, Jess? The way I'm seeing it's like maybe not where God's at, or God Himself and His right hand man.
But it's His dominion.
His dominion and the earth are going to be destroyed.
Yep.
I think that's why it's called New Jerusalem, because it's a new Jerusalem.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's all made new. That's probably where you were at in your dream, Joe.
I think it is. I think that was every time someone brings that up or I think of it, I like take a second and I'm like, I wish I was back in that dream. I just wish I do. I wish I was back in that dream just to, because I would
Pray
have
for it,
looked
man.
I would have
Yeah,
looked around a little bit more or something.
for
Like
sure. Where you at?
it just seemed like normal life when I was like in there, like everything was just normal. But then when I woke up and I was like, I think I went to a different place.
These
Um,
rocks, man, down from the. He keeps saying that. A lot of prophets talked about that, like the rocks. He's talking about in heaven, mountain and the rocks.
and this next verse even mentions a stone. And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be desolate forever, saith the Lord. He's talking about Babylon. Hey, Tim Pack, good to see you. A new heaven and a new earth. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Good to see you, Dan. All prophecy was fulfilled by AD 70.
I don't
know
believe
about
that. I'm sorry.
I disagree with that, but that's
Me too.
not a bad thing to think about. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I do disagree. I don't think there was a dragon flying and things making fire come down from the sky and stuff like that in AD 70. But
No,
we're not here to debate anyway. It's
no.
like a lot of people have that point of view right now, and I think that's
Yep.
just fine. I
I
think
went
it's
through
just
that.
fine.
I went
did
through that for a
kind of
little
did
while.
too, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I searched it out. Let's put it that way. I
Who's
searched it out, and I
the
didn't come to the same conclusion, but that's
who's
okay.
who's our friend on YouTube, Joe, that talks about that? Not Mud Flooded was Armageddon, but the other guy. I really like him. I forget his name, man.
That talks
He's been going.
about
He's been going.
Shade Stone.
There you go, Shade Stone.
Yeah,
Yep.
Shade Stone. He does Bible studies. He's been studying the Book of Revelation, and I'll tell you what. He has that point of view about the prophecy being fulfilled by AD 70.
Yep.
And listening to him, he makes some really good points.
For sure.
I actually commented on one of his videos. I said, "You're making me think, man. I don't think there's anything wrong with thinking. There's nothing wrong with testing something out and seeking out to see, you know."
He's a funny guy too, man. He makes some jokes on there, had me balling. He's pretty hilarious. Yeah.
I actually met him in person in 2018.
Did you? That's awesome.
Yep, at the FEIC.
Look him up on YouTube, everybody. His name's Shade Stone.
Shade Stone. Yep.
Definitely subscribe. Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy for sure. Let's see. I think we were verse 26. And they shall not take of thee a stone. Or I already read that. Okay. But thou shalt be desolate forever, saith the Lord. Set ye up a standard in the land. Blow the trumpet among the nations. Prepare the nations against her. Call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Mini, and Ashenaz. Appoint a captain against her. Cause the horses to come up as the rough caterpillars. I do not understand what that means.
Remember the caterpillar in Revelation, Joe? He will make them as caterpillars, or they were. You know what that makes me think of? Check this out.
That was in this, wasn't it? That was right. We just read that, I think.
Check this out. This is gonna sound real stupid or crazy.
All right.
So they put these things in these tubes, these rockets, or these what do you call them? The fairings. Okay?
Hey, Jesus Freak Computer Geek, what up, David? Good to see you, David Beverly.
They put these. I'm just going to call them what Ezekiel called them: abominations and detestable things. They put them in these. They put them in these tubes, and when they go out there or whatever, they open up.
Yep.
Like a caterpillar. They look like a dragon.
Okay.
Like a
or
dragon.
Like Starlink.
Yep.
Like Starlink.
It just makes me think of that. What's a caterpillar do? It turns into a butterfly. So you put.
I just have like something that I want to explain. Just kind of came to me with a little bit of clarity. God is in heaven. He's a spirit, and heaven is a place I don't think we understand the nature of it, but we know that it's celestial. And God made a material world, and what men try to do now is put material things up in that celestial world, and I think that defiles that heaven. Heaven is not. God didn't make it for material things. He didn't make it for metal and stuff like that. It's a different kind of nature.
He didn't even make it for man. He said he give dominion of the earth to man, and then Jesus said, "No man has ascended into heaven."
Yep.
So they're not going. I mean, they're going to the pit. They're not going to heaven.
Yeah, and not only that, I don't even think it's people that are going into the pit. Like I think maybe it is, but I think the astronauts are sus. Totally sus. Totally. Like,
Did you
I have
did you
no way
get
to
your bumper
prove that.
sticker yet?
Not yet. I want to get. I might have changed it a little bit. I wanted to say space is dumb. Astronauts are sus. I want the bumper
There you
sticker.
go.
Somebody make them. Space is dumb. Astronauts are sus.
That's hilarious.
Okay, so we are at verse. What verse were we in?
28.
28. Prepare
Yep.
against her the nations with the kings of the Medes. See, I think this is talking about the evil spirits, fallen angels.
Daniel.
The captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. Look at that, his dominion. Think about that, because remember in Daniel 8, that dominion that third beast had in
Taken
I
away.
think it was 7 verse 6, I think, or
Yep.
remember, yeah, 7 verse 6. He mentioned a beast that had dominion, and that the story is about talking about the host of heaven. So he had dominion of the host of heaven, but he stole it. Like he took it by, he wasn't supposed to take it, but he took it.
Transgression.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was by transgression. And I think that's what this is talking about, all the land of his dominion.
I do too. Daniel says spirits of the Medes, Persia, Gracia,
That was
Grecia, whatever.
That was the or what's the word? Interpretation, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In Daniel, it
In
was
Daniel,
interpreted to him as being the spirits of the kings of the Medes and or Media and Persia and Grecia. I don't remember exactly how it said it, but
Even in Enoch, it says the same thing. The spirits of the Medes.
I think I remember that.
I can't
Okay,
remember
verse
what's that.
29. And the land shall tremble and sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. And I think that could be both physically or whatever, or it could also be like in our minds.
Spiritually.
Yeah, like what we believe. I mean, if we look to Babylon, maybe it's empty for some of us. Like there was no more sea, like that idea.
Yep. What did Jesus say? Because it says the land of Babylon, a desolation without inhabitants. So
Yep.
Jesus said, when you see the abomination that causes desolation, standing in the holy place.
Let the reader understand.
That's it.
I'm gonna do something here. I want to look up. I gotta look something up here. This right here. This I want to look up. The mighty men. Because remember when we were looking up the word ram in the Hebrew, yep. And part of the definition was mighty man, and I was thinking like, is that talking about like either a giant or like a fallen angel or something? The mighty men. So it's 1368 in Strong's. Let's just see what it says. Gibor. Strong and mighty. Okay, maybe it's not what I'm thinking, but a warrior.
It's not the same number.
Or champion, chief, XL, giant, man, mighty man. Okay, I was thinking maybe it was talking about the fallen angels, but I don't think it is now that I look at this word. But it could be talking about giants.
This word in 30, the mighty men, is that the same number as the same when Daniel was saying it, the ram? Or is that a different word?
No, it's a different word. This one is 1368. That one was, what was that one? Ayil, A-Y-I-L. It was like 3.
Okay,
I can't remember. It was a different word though.
Gotcha.
All right. I'm hearing that sound again, which is weird. That was quick.
Yeah, it's fast.
Okay.
I've been muting a lot. Maybe that's doing it.
Yeah, you know what? I was on a call. I went on a StreamYard a little bit earlier with Tony and Andrew. I think you were there. And I was kind of hearing a similar thing, so it made me feel a little bit better about our technical difficulties. I think that might be a StreamYard thing.
It probably is.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Verse 30. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might hath failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. It reminds me of re-entry.
Reminds me of that. It reminds me of Revelation 12, that woman that was
Yeah,
clothed with the sun and moon.
they became as women. One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end, and that the passages are stopped, and the reeds they have burned with fire, and the men of war are affrighted. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her, yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, hath devoured me. He hath crushed me. He hath made me an empty vessel. He hath swallowed me up like a dragon. He hath filled his belly with my delicates. Ooh. He hath cast me out. The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon, shall the inhabitant of Zion say, and my blood upon the inhabitants of Chaldea shall Jerusalem say. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will plead thy cause, and take vengeance for thee, and I will dry up her sea, that's interesting, and make her springs dry. Whoa, hold on, pause. Go into the book of Enoch.
It sounds like a waste and horrible place where there's no air and no water.
Remember this?
It doesn't say air, but it says no water.
This reminds me of this, the last verse we just read. Which one was it? It was, make her, okay, therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, I will plead thy cause, and take vengeance for thee, and I will dry up her sea, and make her springs dry. And Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons, an astonishment and an hissing without an inhabitant. I just was thinking, maybe it was the verse before that. I guess I was thinking of it. It made me think of Enoch 67, where it's talking about the angels imprisoned in those waters, and then those waters become a fire that burns forever.
Yeah,
that's
67:10.
I don't know why I was thinking of that now, but I was. So, they shall roar together like lions; they shall yell as lions' whelps. In their heat, I will make their feasts, and I will make them drunken, that they may rejoice and sleep a perpetual sleep, and not wake, saith the Lord. I will bring them down like lambs to the slaughter, like rams with he-goats. How is Sheshash taken? And how is the praise of the whole earth surprised? How is Babylon become an astonishment among the nations? The sea is come up upon Babylon. She is covered with a multitude of waves thereof. Her cities are a desolation, a dry land, a wilderness, a land wherein no man dwelleth, neither doth any son of man pass thereby. And I will punish Bel in Babylon, and I will bring forth out of his mouth that which he hath swallowed up, and the nations shall not flow together any more unto him. Yea, the wall of Babylon shall fall. My people, go ye out of the midst of her, and deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of the Lord. Isn't that interesting? That's the second time he's said that in this chapter.
I think that's what's happening now. People's souls are being delivered. They're being placed out of. They're finding out what Babylon is, and they're coming out of it.
Anthony says Sheshach is literally Babylon. That's
the names. This is the thing I was thinking too. Been thinking this about all these names. Like we call our countries what we've called them, but I think God's got different names for them. I really do. I don't think they're what we think they are.
I think you're right.
I'm talking about like the countries of now, China, America.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the names that God had placed for like the countries of the last times. I really don't.
Well, you know how it refers to Babylon maybe as Egypt sometimes or something? Mm-hmm. I don't really know. I'm not sure exactly.
Spiritually, it's spiritually Egypt because it says that.
Oh, yeah. It says that in Revelation.
Where our Lord was crucified.
And so Jerusalem would be, it says spiritually. So what would that mean? Like maybe heavenly or something?
In the heavens, yep.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
That's pretty interesting.
Where we at here?
46. And lest your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that in another year shall come a rumor, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Therefore, behold, the days come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be confounded, and all her slain shall fall in the midst of her. Then the heaven and the earth and all that is therein shall sing for Babylon, for the spoilers shall come unto her from the north. From the north. That's where, you know where that is. Oh, thank you, Anthony. Anthony said Egypt is a daughter of Babylon. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like
From
Judah.
the north.
That's like Judah and Jerusalem. I think they're like related. Because it's always talked about Judah when it's talking about Jerusalem.
Verse 49 oh, go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off.
And yeah, I just wanted to mention that Isaiah 14, that's where 14:13, that's where Lucifer wanted to go, in the sides of the north.
Oh yeah, and that's God's holy mountain.
Yep.
Yeah, that Mount Zion.
Just throw that in there. Yep.
That's, I think, in Psalm 48, which I like to read. Maybe we'll read that. Who knows?
For sure. I'll write it down.
Okay. As Babylon hath caused the slain of Israel to fall, so at Babylon shall fall the slain of all the earth. Ye that have escaped the sword, go away, stand not still, remember the Lord afar off, and let Jerusalem come into your mind. That's awesome. Let Jerusalem come into your mind.
Start thinking about the heavenly Jerusalem.
Yeah, like there where Jesus said, in my Father's house are many mansions.
There you go. It's like people thought space all their life, and then all of a sudden you get, I don't know how many people, but lots of people, probably two out of 10 people are starting to say that no, space is fake.
God's or even more, maybe even more than 2.
The Creator is up in heaven. He lives up there.
Yep, God, the God of Isaac and Jacob.
Wouldn't that be giving God glory?
Yes, and it would be showing His praise. Like when we talk about His creation, and we give Him credit for all these things that He created, that's like something new. I'm just saying, like for many, who knows how many generations, but for many years anyway, people, especially in these times we're in, since they're doing space travel and all this garbage,
right?
It seems like they've just turned on God completely, God, and put a
Big Bang.
It's just a mess.
Evolution. Yep. I think that's why Ezekiel in chapter 8, when he was lifted up between the heaven and earth, he was shown the abominations of the earth. He said that they were worshiping the sun. That makes me think of that.
They were facing the east, worshiping the sun, and
they had their back against the temple of God.
Yeah, like they weren't even. No, that's exactly the picture that was painted in my head. What you just said.
For sure.
Yeah. We are confounded. Verse 51. We are confounded because we have heard reproach. Shame hath covered our faces, for strangers are come into the sanctuaries of the Lord's house.
Where's the Lord at, people?
In heaven.
Did he not ascend into the clouds and go up? Yep. I'm just saying.
No, and this actually goes back to what you said at the beginning, how some of these things appear to be destined to happen twice, not just once. Like some of these prophecies.
That's what it sounds like.
Like this could be talking about the Lord's house, like the tabernacle that men tried to kind of.
So check this out, Joe.
Go ahead.
Check this out. Like the guy said earlier, I forgot his name. All this happened in 70 AD. This just came to me right here, and I thought about this before. So what if the Jerusalem, the earthly Jerusalem being destroyed, and all the ways that it led up to that, they put their abominations in there, and they done this and they done that, was a earthly meaning then of what's going to happen in the heavens at the end.
Yeah, like this is a prophecy of 2 things, kind of.
Well, one thing, but it's the first time would be, that's why I was trying to find that verse, because it said the second time. It says, like the first time it would be an earthly, and then on the last transgression would be a heavenly. That'd be the war in heaven. But don't people say that? It was like, as above us, or was it say, thou kingdom come, thou will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Like it's a reflection.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't really know exactly the extent of that, but
You kind of see what I'm saying there, though.
yeah, I do.
Like it was done on Earth then in 70 A.D. or whenever, and now it's being done in the heavenly, which would
And
be the end.
something's making me think of the ascension of Isaiah when we're talking about that. Like, I think in that book it says so, or like what place takes place on the earth.
Hmm.
How did it word it? It said something like "as above, so below" or something like that.
Right. I
And I
kind
know
of get that.
people
I
give
kind of
that
get that
idea
feeling.
to like Luciferian or something, and I don't understand.
Uh,
I think that because what's that creepy dude? I'm having a mind break. He wrote books and like did maybe maybe he was like with George
Stephen
Bush's
King.
mom. No, he was like a Satanist guy.
He wrote books.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Um, anyway, he had
Aleister
said
Crowley.
Aleister Crowley. Yep, he
Okay.
said some. I think that's in one of his books, "As Above, So Below," and so people when they see,
Oh, okay.
because I've seen that
Yeah.
phrase in Apocrypha, I think
Hmm.
twice, two times, I
Yeah.
think. So I don't know if I don't think it came from Aleister Crowley,
I get that.
guys. I think it came before that, and he was
I
just
no.
using that.
I get that in out of the Bible. Like I feel like it's a reflection of what's going to take place on earth is going to take place in heaven, and that'd be the final transgression. Like they do these things on earth, and then they lead into heaven. They go up and they do it up there, and then God has to bring it all down. Like he has to stop it. Just
Well,
can't
here let me read something. I think it's 43 or 44 in the book of Enoch. Oh, it's
go for it.
43. I passed it up. It's 43 here.
Where was you at in Jeremiah here, so I can hold our spot?
Oh, we were verse 52 is our next one.
52. Got you.
Yep.
All right.
Um so check this out, you guys. Like as far as the idea of being a reflection of heaven or whatever, the things on earth. This is just kind of interesting. It talks about the stars and it kind of compares them with let's see, with the holy. This is interesting. And I saw other lightnings and the stars of heaven, and I saw how he called them all by their names, and they hearkened unto him. And I saw how they are weighed in a righteous balance according to their proportion of light. I saw the width of their spaces, and the day of their appearing, and how their revolution produces lightning. And I saw their revolution according to the number of the angels, and how they keep faith with each other. And I asked the angel who went with me, who showed me what was hidden, what are these? And he said to me, the Lord of Spirits has shown thee their parabolic meaning, their parable. These are the names of the holy who dwell on the earth and believe in the name of the Lord of Spirits forever and ever. So something in the sky is actually like a representation of people who are holy who dwell on the earth and believe in the name of the Lord of Spirits forever and ever. So that's interesting.
Right. Yeah, it is.
I don't know how that kind of applies,
What
but
chapter was that? What chapter was that again?
that was 43 in the book of
43.
Enoch.
I'm
Yep.
gonna read that later.
Welcome, TJ. Good to see you.
We're at 52, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Wherefore, behold, the days, or 51. We are confounded because we have heard reproach. Shame has covered our faces, for strangers are come into the sanctuaries of the Lord's house. So, yeah, we already read that. Wherefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will do judgment upon her graven images, and through all her land the wounded shall groan. Though Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, yet from me shall spoilers come unto her, saith the Lord. A sound of a cry cometh from Babylon, and great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans. Because the Lord hath spoiled Babylon, and destroyed out of her the great voice. When her waves do roar like great waters, a noise of their voice is uttered. Because the spoiler is come upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. Every one of their bows is broken. For the Lord God of recompenses shall surely requite. And I will make drunk her princes and her wise men, her captains and her rulers, and her mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep, and not wake, saith the King, whose name is the Lord of hosts. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain. Keep launching rockets, guys. You're not getting anywhere.
You ain't lying.
And the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary. So then it says Jeremiah's prophecy to Sariah. The word which Jeremiah the prophet commanded Sariah, the son of Neriah, the son of Messiah, if that's how you say that, when he went with Zedekiah, the king of Judah, into Babylon in the 4th year of his reign. And this Sariah was a quiet prince. So Jeremiah wrote in a book all the evil that should come upon Babylon, even all the words that are written against Babylon. And Jeremiah said to Sariah, when thou comest to Babylon, and shalt see and shalt read all these words, then shalt thou say, O Lord, thou hast spoken against this place to cut it off, that none shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, but that it should be desolate forever. And it shall be when thou hast made an end of the reading of this book, that thou shalt bind a stone to it and cast it into the midst of the Euphrates. And thou shalt say, thus shall Babylon sink, and shall not rise from the evil that I will bring upon her, and they shall be weary. Thus far the words of Jeremiah. Wow. I'm glad you said to read that. That is
river
filled with info.
That river there, Euphrates, it's dried up so that the kings of the earth can get through.
Yeah, doesn't it say in Second Esdras that he will he'll stop the waters from flowing for a half hour or something to let them pass through?
Is it for a half an hour?
I'm gonna look it up. I don't.
That makes me think about. And there was silence in heaven for about a half an hour.
I might be
we
wrong.
were just talking about that.
I might be wrong, but we'll see.
We was wondering about that verse. Remember a couple weeks ago, we were talking about that. We were wondering what that means. That 30 minutes or whatever, half an hour.
Yeah, I still don't know what it means.
But the verse that sticks out the most to me would be because he's down here. He's talking about he's writing these books for to warn the people of what's going to come to Babylon. But the verse that would stick out to me the most in this whole thing is that it says that it would destroy. If you want to say this has already happened, or it was talking about things then, it's saying that the earth would be totally destroyed. I can't remember what verse that was.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I wrote it down.
I gotta just start over here.
In the beginning here. Trying to find it. That verse sticks out to me.
What chapter? Right, what chapter was that in Second Esdras?
Yeah, you probably know that book better than me. I mean, I've listened to it 100 times, but
I can't remember.
To me, it starts kicking in around 14 and 15 when it starts talking about those trees.
Oh wait, it's in 13. I just remembered. It's at the end of 13. Let's see. The Most High will once again stop the flow. This is verse 47. How did I find it that fast?
Right.
The Most High will once again stop the flow of the river so that they can cross. I guess it doesn't say how long. I know what I'm thinking of. It says something about their journey being a year and a half. So maybe that's what I was thinking of. But
doesn't it talk about that in Revelation, the river being dried up?
Yeah, maybe.
Because there's a lot of people talking about it right now. They're thinking it's the river on earth, remember?
Yeah, like the river, great river Euphrates is dried up. Yeah.
Yep. I think that's the heavenly rivers. I don't think that's the earthly rivers. Because the kings of the earth it's preparing the way for the kings of the earth to go through it.
Let's find out what we're talking about. Revelation 16:12.
There you go. That'd be the good way to do it.
Oops. Let's go to Bible Hub.
I'm going to mute because I'm looking for another verse.
Okay. So this is the sixth angel poured out his bowl. Let me read a little bit of this. So the fifth angel, oh man. And the fifth angel, this is verse 10. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness. And they gnawed their tongues for pain and blasphemed the God of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And that's when it starts talking about the three unclean spirits like frogs that come out of the mouth of the dragon. So if they're launching SpaceX Dragon with 4 astronauts on it today, that means that sometime tonight, probably, or early in the morning tomorrow, you'll be able to see this scene, like what I see as this scene, like taking place. They'll be floating in from the dragon. They'll be coming out of the dragon into the space station. They'll be like floating and like pushing themselves along, like on the wall. And their
Right.
hair will be all floaty. And it just
They do
reminds
look
me
like
of frogs.
Yeah, they do look like frogs swimming in water,
Yep.
heavenly waters.
And he says,
We
I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils. This is why astronauts are sus to me, guys. Working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty. You want to be on God's side for that battle. And
I think that's why God's showing His creation and His Word.
He's
because
revealing truth.
Yep. He's like, hey, they're going up. They're doing what the prophet said they would be doing. Y'all need to pay attention and get away from that. That's how I feel. Yep.
I think you're right. That's how I feel
Scary.
too. Same thing.
It's scary.
Exact thing.
Yeah.
I mean, what? There's so many things happening right now that, I mean, nobody can say, oh yeah, we know it's the end of time or the end of days. Nobody knows that, if it is or not.
Right.
But I believe it is. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense.
To me, the prophets wrote what they wrote, and I'm watching it all come before my eyes, so I can't really, I mean, I don't know a day, but I'll put it this way. Every time they launch one of them things, I'm like, come Lord Jesus, this might be the one right here.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I feel the same way when they're launching a rocket. I'm just like, oh man. Like,
I'm literally looking. Go ahead.
Nobody involved in that is realizing what they're doing.
Nope.
I mean,
it's scary.
If you could see, if we could just see with our eyes everything that we can't see with our eyes, I think
the spiritual world.
Terrified. They'd be terrified of what they're doing.
I think that's why in Hebrews, it says that Hebrews 1, at some diverse times or whatever, he said that Jesus said he created the worlds. I think that's what that's talking about. The heavenly world and the spirit and the earthly world.
Yep. I think you're right.
The way I see it, Joe, there's a mountain up there, there's a city up there, there's a garden up there, there's rivers up there, there's like a whole another world up there. They can't see it. All they can see is darkness because they have no light in them. But the people that have the light, they're like, no, there's a temple up there. It's all written. God's declared it. It's all up there. This is what's happening. People are being shown the kingdom. That's why they're preaching the gospel of the kingdom.
Which he preached before he was crucified, and then he also and he told them that it would be preached before the end of the world too.
Yep, he said, "Then the end shall come after it's preached."
Yep, that's in Matthew 24.
That's why me and Joe say that the whole flat Earth thing, and call it whatever you want to call it, is the gospel of the kingdom.
Land. It's a promised land.
Yep, it's a promised land. Yep, you're being placed in God's land, God's kingdom, before the destruction, so your soul will be saved.
Yep, I think Second Esdras it worded it interestingly, within God's borders. Like we can move into His borders and live by His rules rather than where we are in this crazy wicked world. And that's, I think, what flat Earth is.
We were all under Satan's dominion.
Yep, and you can come out from that just by simply believing the truth. Remember
in Revelation, Satan deceived the whole world.
Yep.
Not just the world and elite groups didn't get deceived and they knew the truth and they were hiding it. No, he
Yep.
deceived the whole world. They speak lies because they don't know truth.
Okay, we're gonna
So
have an intermission where I'm gonna play a 3-minute video,
awesome.
and
I gotta.
it's like a funny one. So we're just having a break from
Okay, cool.
this, and then
I can't hear you.
oh, what's that?
I can't hear you. Is it that one?
Nope. This one's
Okay.
called Oh No. That's what this one's called. Oh no.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
Hit
Here we
it.
go.
And welcome to another episode of eftupworld TV. I'm your host, Simon Dan.
And in the sun, in the shiny part, it's 150 degrees. And in the shade, it's minus 120 degrees.
In the shade in space, it's like minus 250 degrees. But the part of you that's in the sun, it's plus 250 degrees at least.
That is real science.
It's a bottomless pit.
The world is flat all the time.
What does the ISS smell like?
Stinky.
They're like brimstone, like a witch has just been there.
Oh, you can smell a little roast beef.
We first docked with the shuttle. There was a noticeable smell, but you get accustomed to it very quickly. So I can't tell anything anymore.
You know, there was some I don't know how to describe it, but some feeling that it was real air that was coming in. And on the hatch, I think we told to each other, "Hey, can you smell the
Stinky
roast beef
in space? What you smell in space in the cabin is generally each other." When we landed on the shuttle, the people that would open up the hatch would get a whiff of this and be like,
smell a little
stinky
roast beef.
This was a challenge given to me by peeing upside down.
We don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
There is a magic speed.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Let's take a peek at the process.
It looks kind of flat.
NASA's Rob Simon made this, so some of those are painted on.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. The clouds are sort of too see-through, so I just hit Command Z a lot.
There's artistry to creating the world.
What I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space, but
let's take a peek at the process.
And what you're seeing here is a mirage.
We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
No, now I'm not sure we went far enough out to encounter the Van Allen radiation belt. Maybe we did.
No.
Naturally.
I don't know the distance to the Van Allen radiation belt.
Naturally.
And
we used to.
If we did, it wasn't a problem.
Naturally.
Just as it passes over the Indian Ocean, we lose communication.
We destroyed that technology.
No. Naturally.
We'll pass through the Van Allen belts.
Maybe we did.
An area of dangerous communication. Radiation.
See things that we don't know.
Naturally, radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion.
This flash of light.
The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore.
Naturally, we have to pass through this danger zone twice.
No.
Once up and once back.
Space is not necessary.
But Orion has protection.
And it looked like it was on the moon. But
shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation.
I'm not sure.
Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
It's a painful process.
Learn about Flat Earth by subscribing to eftupworld on YouTube.
The Earth is not curved, and that's that.
Did you guys hear? Who is that? Einstein?
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
The Earth is not curved, and that's that.
I'll tell you what. When
I made that up.
When God said He'd send them a strong delusion, man, these people right here are lost.
Yeah.
So
I'm hearing that sound pretty loud again. Yeah. If I hate to keep bugging you about it, but
oh no, you're good, man.
All right, we're gonna go back to where was that? Right here. There we go. So what were we gonna? We were gonna look at something. What was it? Hosea. Whoops, we lost Thomas, you guys. He'll be coming back. Unless his phone died. Let's see. Let's look at Hosea. Oh, whole chapter. Full chapter. Alright, let me remove this. Ah, there we are. Tommy's back.
There we go.
What's up? Little technical difficulty?
I hit the wrong back button.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you were trying to fix the sound error
Yeah,
thing.
cut myself out. Does it sound good now?
Yeah, sounds great.
Awesome.
Sounds real good. So I went to Hosea because I didn't know. Is that where we wanted to maybe go, or?
Yeah, we could go through some of these, like the minor prophets. That's what they call them. I don't call them minor prophets. I think Joel is just as good as Isaiah and
Or should we
Obadiah and
look
all the
at
rest.
Joel? Let's look at Joel.
For sure.
Yeah.
Joel is the day of the Lord, most of it.
Yeah.
Wanna go through
I
some
wouldn't
of that?
mind I wouldn't mind reading that whole thing.
You want me to read it?
Sure, if you want.
I just took
what I'm
a
gonna
BC
do is
powder, man.
I'm gonna go over to I'm gonna
fighting
go
a
over
toothache,
to
y'all.
this. Yeah, he's got a toothache. That sucks.
Oh my god, it's good now.
Yeah,
I'll read it, man.
if it gets bad, I mean we don't
No,
have to
I just
keep
took
going if you
another.
got an issue.
I just took another BC powder. I'm good. No,
Okay.
I feel in my heart I want to do this, man. I have to do this. It's got to be
Awesome.
done.
I agree.
Sure.
Joel.
Not much time left.
All right, we're gonna look at the KJV and Joel, and we'll read along with you.
I don't have a YouTube channel, but I try to do something on Facebook pretty much every day. Something. But you ready?
I'm ready.
Joel 1. The word of the Lord that came to Joel, that the son of Pethuel, I can't say these words. Hear this, ye old men, and give ear, all ye inhabitants of the land. Hath this been in your days, or even in the days of your fathers? Tell ye your children of it, and let your children tell their children, and their children another generation. That which the palmer worm have left hath the locust eaten, and that which the locust have left hath the cankerworm eaten, and that which the cankerworm have left hath the caterpillar eaten. Awake, ye drunkards, and weep and howl, all ye drinkers of wine, because of the new wine, for it is cut off from your mouth. That wine makes me think of that wine, the wrath of the fornication in Revelation. I think that's that same wine, Joe. I don't know if you're still there. Maybe he's
I was
on mute.
muted. Sorry.
There you go.
I'm all talking, but I'm muted. I said, yeah. I was saying the nations have become drunken with her wine.
And then there comes a new wine.
Hey,
So
H. Jasper E. Good to see you again. Thanks for coming.
If the world was involved in drinking the bad wine, and then they were given the new wine.
Mm-hmm. Jesus talks about new wine and yep.
Where was that at? Where it says I think it's in one of the apocryphes. It talks about what is that? That might be the Lost Book of John or something. It says that he makes the new bottles. You can't put the new wine in the old bottles.
That's I think in the Gospels. Yeah, he was saying that. Yeah.
But there's one of the apocryphes that like really goes into that. It's like half the book is talking about that. I think it's the Lost Book of John. I think it is.
We'll have to check that out.
For a nation has come up upon my land, strong and without number, whose teeth are the teeth of a lion. I just want to say this, like it said that in Jeremiah too, and I didn't say nothing. When he's talking about this lion, it makes me think of that first beast in Daniel. I'm sorry,
I think it's a shuttle.
Yeah, that's it.
The shuttle.
Every time I hear lion, I see the shuttle.
Well, it's that Daniel 7 verse 4, man. It's quite clear.
Listen to what it says here. It says a nation has come up upon my land.
That
Where's
would be
God
New
at?
Jerusalem, the promised
Exactly.
land, New Jerusalem.
And didn't Daniel see a beast rise out of the earth that spake as a lion?
Yeah, he said the first was like a lion and had eagle's wings, and Daniel beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. That sounds like the space shuttle to me.
Yeah,
Retired in 2011. It's the only thing that had wings.
There's no way you figured that out. Like God showed you that.
Well, I think anybody can that right now. Anybody can that really
open.
tries to figure out what Daniel was trying to describe. Remember,
open,
Daniel was describing something that would exist at the end of the world. So, is it interesting that all these space vehicles match up with what Daniel and John and Zechariah, all these prophets were describing visually? It's crazy.
Right.
What's up, Charles,
good.
Phillip, and Red Scout? Good to see you guys.
Let's read some more here. Verse 7, he hath laid my vine waste and barked my fig tree. He hath made it clean and bare and cast it away. The branches therefore are made white.
Branches?
Yep.
That's another thing that I'm just thinking, like, the branches are made white. Is that like maybe like made clean?
Mm-hmm.
It almost sounds like when Jesus was talking about
the fig tree.
Yeah, and the branches. Was that a parable?
The wind would shake them. The wind would shake them off there, and something like that.
Welcome, Bohydrus. Good to see you.
Yeah, that was a parable, Joe.
Okay.
Yep. Lament like a virgin, girded with sackcloth for the husband of her youth. Okay. The meat offering and the drink offering is cut off from the house of the Lord. The priest, the Lord's minister, mourn. The field is waste, the land mourneth, for the corn is waste, the new wine is dried up, the old oil languisheth. Be ye ashamed, O ye husbandmen, howl, O ye vine dressers, for the wheat and for the barley, because the harvest of the field is perished. The vine is dried up, and the fig tree languisheth, the pomegranate tree, the palm tree also, and the apple tree, even all the trees of the field are withered, because joy is withered away from the sons of men. Gird yourself and lament, ye priests, howl ye ministers of the altar. Come lie all night in sackcloth, ye ministers of my God, for the meat offering and the drink offering is withholden from the house of your God. Sanctify ye a feast, call a solemn assembly, gather the elders and all the inhabitants of the land into the house of the Lord your God, and cry unto the Lord. Alas, for the day of the Lord is at hand, and a destruction from the Almighty shall it come. See, that's right. There's where it pretty much tells you that the destruction is coming from the Father. Like,
yep.
I think the Son is the one who performs it. He fights it at the end. Like,
he manifests it, right?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
You said it. Is not the meat cut off before our eyes? Ye joy and gladness from the house of your God. The seed is rotten under their clods. The garners are laid desolate, and barns are broken down, for the corn is withered. How do the beasts groan? The herds of cattle are perplexed, because they have no pasture. Yea, the flocks of sheep are made desolate. O Lord, to thee will I cry, for the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and the flame hath burned all the trees of the fields. The beasts of the field cry also unto thee, for the rivers of waters are dried up, and the fire hath devoured the pastures of the wilderness. I think this is talking about the wilderness up there.
The desert.
The desert, yep. Where they were, where the prophets were took into the spirit.
Yeah,
I always wondered. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. That's actually.
I always wondered. I'm like, check this out. I'm always wondering. I'm like, how did they go into the wilderness and not eat for 40 days? Wouldn't they be dead? Like, who can go 40 days without eating? And I'm like,
that's a good. Yeah, Jesus did.
Because they're in the spirit. Well, Jesus is a little bit different.
Yeah. But that's how long he was, it said when he was tempted by the devil, and the devil took him, when it says the devil took him up onto a high mountain and showed him the
That's
pinnacle
up
of
there.
the temple. That's
Yep.
that's Mount Zion.
How do you think he saw all the kingdoms
Yeah.
of the flat earth?
Yep, he saw all
He
the
wasn't.
kingdoms of the earth. He was up. I think he was up in the heavenly Jerusalem, Mount Zion. But so let's see here. Do you want me to read on Joel 2, or you want to keep going?
I'll read 2. Yeah,
All
the
right.
day of the Lord.
Yeah, this is a
blow-
good one. This is a
Yeah,
great
it is.
chapter.
Yeah, it is. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in the holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not been ever like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. Here you go, Joe. The appearance of them is as an appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, can I stop you there?
Yeah.
This stands out to me a lot.
You ain't
Where
lying.
the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble. Just think of what a
Sounds-
rocket does. The
Yep.
thrust that a rocket makes. That's the loudest sound that we can make.
And if you believe in Enoch, let's just say 56, he saw men riding on chariots on the
Yep.
winds of heaven.
Yeah, 57. Enoch 57.
Oh, yeah, 57.
Welcome, Jewish Samaritan. Good to see you. All right. Sorry, I stopped you there.
Oh, no, you're good. It's people, this is the day of the Lord. So if you would say the Lord hasn't come yet, or he's coming, and you'd be like, so what are these chariots? Are these going to be men riding in wagon buggies, or are these going to be something in the future that would be manifesting in our world? Because,
I think
technologies.
the chariots that we think of when we hear the word chariot is like the two-wheel little buggy that goes behind a horse, and the guy in
Yes,
there
sir.
whipping the horse. Yeah, yeah. Okay, we live in 2023 right now, and I bet you if you wanted to get a hold of one of those chariots, you couldn't even buy one.
Yeah, probably
You
not.
could probably buy one. Someone would make one for you. But
Yeah.
I don't think that is what this is referring to. I think it's like a description of a different kind of chariot myself.
Yeah, it's what Joel's could say he saw. That's like Joel's
Yes.
given a vision from the Lord thousands of years ago, however long ago, before there were semis and cars and airplanes, and he's
Yes.
trying to explain what he's seeing, doing what it's doing, and he just said they were chariots.
Yep. And I
Daniel
think
called-
that what
Go
else
ahead.
would you call, like, what would you, like, back in Joel's time, like, what would
Exactly.
what other types of whatever
Vehicle.
Yeah, it would be something with wheels, I'm assuming, or something that carries a person,
Exactly.
Like I think in the book of Enoch, I've heard one of the versions says chariots, and one of the versions says wagons. So it seems
Yeah.
to me like that's just their word for describing kind of like a vehicle, like you were saying. But
Just remember
All right.
here in the first verse, it's the trumpets being blown in Zion, in my holy mountain. So where he's seeing these chariots and these men, that's where it's
up in the
he's
sky.
seeing- Exactly. That's what I just wanted to point out. They shall run like did I do that one? No. Before their face the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Do you still have that NASA saying the wall?
Oh,
that video?
yes, it's actually not NASA. It's actually Rocket Lab. But
Rocket Lab. That's right.
I have it right here.
Yeah,
Should I
that
grab
would.
it?
It's like, this is crazy, Joe. like Daniel
It
7,
is.
where he's talking about the man going inside the horn? I did a Facebook
Oh yeah,
video.
the horn
yeah.
that the man that spake
Yeah.
great things or whatever.
I did a Facebook video like last week, and I literally went on YouTube. I have it saved on my YouTube thing, and I played that video and I read that verse, and I'm like, this is like fulfillment, word to word. Like, look at this.
It's exact. Like
exact.
Okay, I
How
thought
can
I
you-
had the video. I can't find it, I guess.
It just that verse makes me think of that video you made where they're talking about the wall. The wall.
Yeah, Rocket Lab is. Let me just briefly explain what you're talking about.
Go ahead.
Rocket Lab is like a commercial, like a private rocket company, and they put little teeny things into orbit. And they have a saying there for when they're doing re-entry, when a vehicle's going through the different speeds at re-entry and all that heat and plasma is caused. They have coined that the wall. They call it the wall. So when you're re-entering the atmosphere, you hit a wall.
What if that wall? What if what they call the wall is actually the wall to the fortress of heaven?
Yeah.
To God's holy city.
Yeah.
And they don't even know it.
Well, I don't think they know it.
They don't.
I think it is, and they don't know it. You
know why they don't know it?
Because they don't believe.
They don't believe in heaven. They look out and they see darkness.
They deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and the Lord of Spirits.
Since creation has been declared now, the former things are being declared. There's people seeing that wall. They're saying, most people say, you can't get through that wall.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that, but the Bible says that they do get through that wall.
This is what it's saying right here.
Yep. They go, they're all over the place. They're using it for a highway.
There's men on chariots on Mount Zion, his holy mountain. They went through that wall, people.
Yep.
They're through that wall. This is the end. Like, this is...
And you know what I do? There's something I admire. There's something I admire about someone that says they can't get through the firmament. There's something cool about that. Okay,
For sure.
When we're talking about truth and prophecy and things like that, nobody knows everything, but I do like when people have. I love when people have that, that strength in their understanding where they say, "No, God wouldn't allow it." But there is things in the Bible, like God Himself saying that nothing would be restrained from them that they imagine to do when they don't have a language barrier or confused language.
God allows them to do it. This is what we're trying to say.
But He does it to accomplish His what He declared.
Word.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yep. All right.
This is let's see. Yeah, we talked about the wall. Chapter.
There's that
2,
word
verse
thrust
8.
again.
Yeah. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. Wasn't Satan running to and fro? They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter into the windows like a thief.
Oh boy.
That's huge there. Yeah, that's huge.
John 10, Ezekiel 7.
You just said it. Yeah. Remember the thief?
That talks about thieves and robbers.
Yep.
And the thief comes to destroy, to kill and destroy. And
John 10:10.
Yep. And in Ezekiel, God's showing Ezekiel all these great abominations that are done in the midst of His house, in the midst of Jerusalem. And I lost where I was going with that. I was just got side.
Oh, then you're talking
distracted.
about chapter 7 where they go in.
They go into a secret place and defile it.
Place, yeah.
That's what He said that they're going to do. The robbers shall enter into it and defile it.
What Joe's saying is, in John 10:1, Jesus said, I'll make that clear. He said, verily, verily, like, listen up. He said, the thief and the robber. Joel's saying that the thief is going to come and go in by the windows. Ain't that what he said right here?
It says they will, they'll run to and fro, and they'll enter in the windows like a thief.
And in Ezekiel, he called them the robbers.
Yep.
So just put those two together, and that's what Jesus said in John 10:1, the thief and the robber.
Welcome, awake and in the light. Good to see you. You finally caught alive. Awesome.
For sure. Welcome. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army. For his camp is very great, for he is strong that exceedeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide in it?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You ain't lying.
The Lord shall utter his voice before his army. You know, that reminds me of like that valley of dry bones, that thing that Ezekiel,
yeah.
Yeah, where the Lord showed him this, it was, the Lord actually like carried him over this valley that was full of like dead bones, like an army that was killed or something.
Right.
And he commands him to bring bring these bones and make them, come up into bodies and put skin on them and whatever, and they became this powerful army. That's just what this reminds me of. The Lord shall utter his voice before his army.
So what if this is just me speaking, what if there was a war going on in heaven and we were all blind to it, and then all of a sudden God begun to wake up and a group of people, and these group of people were, most of them were just saying, you can't, they're not doing that. That's impossible. You can't do that.
Yeah,
So
they're just saying
fighting the war. Yep.
They're totally in the battle.
For sure. Yep.
And they're winning.
Yep.
That's what I see. I see in our world this battle happening, and I could say it. I could describe it by saying something like this. 10 years ago, there was like zero. Everyone lived on a globe 10 years ago. How about that? Pretty much everyone lived on a globe.
Pretty
10
much
years
everyone.
ago.
Yep.
Today, millions of people have turned away and gone to another place and left that globe.
A new world, new land.
That's something that has never happened in all of history, where a percentage, like a significant amount of people, we don't know how many, but like just for an example, Dave's app has over 100,000 blue dots on it or whatever. Like people that have gotten his app that are flat, and that's just Dave. That's just one person that has this app. I'm just saying that I've heard that in Brazil there's 11 million people. And maybe these numbers are off or whatever, but the point is that if we could take a worldwide poll, like you were saying earlier, what is it? 2 out of 10 might even, maybe 3,
maybe more,
maybe 5.
It used to be 1 out of 10, but it seems here recently
it's
there's
getting
more
bigger
with TikTok. TikTok's really waking a lot of people up.
Way. And you know what? I think these social platforms, social media platforms like the one we're on right now, and Facebook and TikTok and all these other ones.
Trumpets.
Well, if you think about the way that we get to communicate, like we could be on the phone and just be talking about this stuff, but even better than that, we are actually studying the scriptures. It's on page. We're all looking at it.
Yep.
When could we ever do that? Only now. You know what I'm saying? Like only in the last decade could we do that.
It's amazing.
So pretty cool.
And all I'm saying is that Joe was talking about these dry bones and these people being awoke from their death, like they were pretty much bones. They weren't alive, and he awoke these people.
Yep.
And they fought. They were his army, and they fought for him.
Yeah,
so,
and they became like the most powerful army.
I tell people yesterday on Facebook, I said, join the army. Get on God's side.
Join in. Get in the ranks.
No joke.
We need
you.
It's
happening. For sure, yep. No joke.
Yo, Achilles 7's here. Hey, how's it going? Achilles 7 was highlighted on Globebusters today, which was very cool. I was glad to see that. That was awesome. Hopefully you'll get a bunch of subscribers from that too, because you've got a lot of content there. So I like your channel. Yeah, I subscribed maybe a month ago or something.
Oh, you need to share it with me then.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do is actually, while you're reading, I'll grab a link.
Are you hiding truth channels from me, Joe?
I am. No, I'm just kidding. I'll grab a link while you are reading here.
Gotcha. This is still in chapter 2, verse 12. Therefore also now saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning, and rend your heart and not your garments, and turn unto the Lord your God, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil. Who knoweth if he will return and repent and leave a blessing behind him, even a meat offering and a drink offering unto the Lord your God? Blow the trumpet in Zion, sanctify a fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children, and those that suck the breast. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, and bride out of her closet. I just want to say in Revelation 12, that woman that's given birth to that man child, for some weird reason, I feel like that was the people that are coming to the truth. Like, I don't even know how to put it in words.
I think you're right.
really
I think you're right, and it reminds me of being born again. When Jesus was talking to Nicodemus about being born again, and how the Spirit is like the wind, and you don't know where it's coming from, where it's going.
Right.
I liked what you said about that. You don't know if someone is like, nobody knows if someone is quote unquote saved or not. Like, that's something.
Yep.
That's something only God knows, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, Stacy Bolster Blades, good to see you. Awesome.
For sure. 17. Let the priests, the ministers of the Lord, weep between the porch and the altar. This is where Ezekiel was in chapter 8. Let the priest, the minister of the Lord, weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare thy people, O Lord, and give not thine heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, where is their God? I see that happening.
What verse are you in? I lost you when I was looking for that link.
17.
17. Okay, cool.
We're in 18 now. Then will you want to say something about that?
Nope. Go ahead. I was just want to make sure that I could kind of highlight this so people, if they're just coming in, they know where we're reading at. So
awesome. Then will the Lord be jealous for his land and pity his people? Yea, the Lord will answer and say unto his people, behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied therewith, and I will no more make you a reproach among the heathen. He's pulling these people away from other people that are doing bad.
Yeah. Well, he says that in Ezekiel too. I will put my spirit upon you and will take you from among the heathen and place you in your own land.
Think about flat earth people.
Yeah, and think about we gotta steer for just a second. We gotta go over here.
Go for it. I'm gonna drink a coffee anyway.
Remember in 2nd Esdras, he's seen this vision of this great battle taking place between the Son of Man that he sees flying with the clouds of heaven. And then it's a great multitude on the earth that are going to fight against him, and he just decimates them. And let's see here. But before that happened, he gathered to himself a peaceful multitude. Verse 40 we're in 2nd Esdras 13. It says, these are the 10 tribes that were taken captive from their land in the days of King Hoshea, whom King Shalmaneser of the Assyrians took across the river as a captive. So listen to what this says, though, speaking of the promised land and what we've been learning. They were taken into another land, but they made this plan for themselves. They would leave the multitude of the nations and go into a more remote region where the human race had never lived. Has the human race ever lived on flat earth? Who knows? I'm just saying.
It's crazy, ain't it?
And it says there they would be able to observe their customs, which they hadn't kept in their own region. That just sounds like all of us, I'm just saying that sounds like all of us learning a real way to live and to believe that is not something we knew before.
The ways of God.
And I think it says that in Isaiah, I will bring you by ways you have not known.
Yep.
I will guide you in paths that you haven't taken, or something like that. So, okay, back to Jeremiah.
Joel.
Or, I'm sorry, Joel, wrong one. Joel. And you were at verse 18, 19,
20.
19, I think. 20. All right, here we go.
But I will remove far off from you the northern army. There's that northern.
Yeah, they come from the north.
Yep. That's what Lucifer said in his heart.
Oh yeah.
And will drive him into a land barren and desolate. There's one more time I want to stop. Like that's, remember Enoch went and seen that waste and desolate.
Waste and horrible place. Yep.
Yep.
No water, no birds.
With his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea.
Yep. Like above.
Exactly. And his stink shall come up, and he just keeps saying up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. Fear not, O land. Fear not, O land, be glad and rejoice, for the Lord will do great things. Be not afraid, ye beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness do spring. For the tree beareth her fruit, the fig tree and the vine do yield their strength. Be glad then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God, for he hath given you the former rain moderately. That's like the former, these are the former things.
Mm-hmm.
And Isaiah, for sure, yep. And
Creation.
he's bringing these people, his children, into the heavenly kingdom. And he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain, and the latter rain in the first month. I don't think that's talking about rainy waters, people.
I think that reminds me of what Jesus said about New Jerusalem, that it will come, that it's going to come down out of heaven from his God. Like, very interesting that we're talking about, like, if you ask, hey, Zigzag, welcome. I'm trying to say hi to people as they come in.
Oh, you're good, bro. Sure.
Zigzag says, you're living in the land of Nod.
I love that name.
Yeah, that is a good name.
I know that name. Used to know that name.
Red Scout says, a new heaven and new earth. Yes. Isn't that amazing? Actually, like, all these things seem to be talking about this promised land.
If I could just speak freely here in my own thoughts here, not Bible. Okay, so like we're all in under Satan's dominion. He's created this different world and this different heaven, and then God starts to reveal the true creation and what he declared, and he's taken away the people he made, like forms this army, and they're taking away Satan's dominion. This is all like, think about this spiritually, not physically.
Yep.
Some of it's physically too, but most of it's spiritually.
Yep,
and then
I agree.
As they're fighting this army, he's putting them in this land. He's like, this army that's fighting and gathering more people. Like in Revelation, he saw a number, and then they were gathering a multitude.
Yep.
And as he's gathering these people, he's like, they're like being put in this land. And then
let's look at, I just want to read a little bit at the beginning of this, because it goes with exactly what you're saying. I kept watching these. This is in 2nd Esdras chapter 13 again. I kept watching these things, and an innumerable multitude of people came together from the four winds of heaven to fight against the man who had come up from the sea. That would be Jesus. I watched as he carved a great mountain for himself and flew onto it. But then it's verse 8 says, after this I looked and saw that all who had gathered to do battle against him were sorely afraid, yet they dared to fight. When he saw the rush of the multitude coming, he didn't raise his hand or hold a spear or any weapon of war. Rather, I saw something like a wave of fire shoot forth from his mouth, and a breath of flame from his lips, and a storm of sparks from his tongue. All these things, the wave of fire, the breath of flame, and the mighty storm, mixed together, and fell upon the crowd that was rushing forward, prepared to fight. It burned them all up, so that suddenly nothing was seen of the innumerable mob, except the dust of ashes and the smell of smoke. I saw this and was amazed. I think that, like,
you know,
there's
that
a battle.
me think of? There's for sure that breath coming out off his tongue, and that's like, if you listen to that Wisdom of Solomon, it tells you what that breath is. That's the spirit of wisdom, or the spirit of truth.
I was gonna say that's, and it calls it a her. It calls the wisdom is a her. It refers to it, and it just says, like, I love that. After you showed me that,
that's the heavenly Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wisdom.
They say the scripture says it's the mother of all. Like, I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah, it's
like
kind of
we have our Father in heaven, and
Yep.
then she's the mother. She's the kingdom.
wisdom.
Wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is 24. And the floor shall be full of wheat, and the fast shall overflow with the wine and oil. And I will restore you the years that the locust hath eaten, and the cankerworm, and the caterpillar, and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you. I really think that's the 144,000 right there. And ye shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, that have dwelt wondrously with you, and my people shall never be ashamed. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed.
Awesome.
For sure.
I love this next part. This next part is just awesome.
And this is 28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillar of smoke. There's pillars again, Joe.
Yeah, where have you ever seen a pillar of smoke?
They're going to launch one probably right now.
Probably.
It's probably launching right now or close to it. It said 3 hours, I don't know how long ago.
We'll see if they're going right now. I'll just check my
YouTube. Check it out. There's a dragon going up towards the firmament. Let's just say that, towards the firmament.
Yep.
Whether you
Launching up
believe
towards the
it's
firmament, shooting an arrow up at God. Looks like it hasn't happened yet.
Whether you believe it's going in the firmament or the world still believes it's going into heaven.
Oh wait,
Think about that.
streamed 33 minutes ago. Usually when they do the launch of the astronauts, it's like a 4-hour stream, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot, sometimes longer.
Oh wait,
yeah.
Look at right here. It wasn't actually to the space station. This is the Axiom launch. They're just going up there for fun.
What?
Yeah, Axiom. This is the second time. It's a private. Somebody bought basically this company called Axiom. They bought.
Oh, that's right. It's commercial. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not. They don't. Let's read about it really quick, just so we know. SpaceX is targeting no earlier than Sunday, May 21st for Axiom Space Axiom Mission 2 to the. Oh, they are going to the station, to the International Space Station from Launch Complex 39A. The Dragon spacecraft supporting this mission previously flew Crew 4 and from the space station following stage separation. Falcon 9's first stage will land on landing zone 1 at Cape Canaveral. Okay. Yeah, so it was, we'll go live about 3.5 hours before, so they already took off, so I'm sure everything, we would have heard about it if it didn't make it, or whatever. During their time on the orbiting laboratory, the crew will conduct over 20 science and technology experiments. Dude, I got a kilo of science for sale if anyone's interested.
For the healing of the body, Joe?
Yeah, for the benefit, to benefit life on Earth in areas such as healthcare, materials, technology development, and enable industrial advances. Yeah, you're referring to this chapter. Or
read it.
Chapter
read it.
6. All right, 67.
Yep.
I think it's important that we try to understand this chapter because I don't understand it all, but I know what it's talking about. So this says, God promises to Noah places of punishment of the angel and of the kings. Go ahead.
Just remember the king. Remember the kings in Daniel. What they were. They were horns,
and they were actually like evil, very evil, and they caused destruction.
Yep.
Should I read this whole chapter? It's not that long.
I would, man. Read it.
All right. This is 67 in the book of Enoch. In those days, the word of God came unto me, which is awesome. That's Jesus. The word of God came unto me. And he said unto me, Noah, thy lot has come up before me, a lot without blame, a lot of love and uprightness. And now the angels are making a wooden building, and when they have completed that task, I will place my hand upon it and preserve it. And there shall come forth from it the seed of life, and a change shall set in, so that the earth will not remain without inhabitant. So he was saying, I'm not going to wipe out the whole, my whole creation. I'm going to continue it. That's what he was saying. Welcome, FE Nation. Good to see you. So then he says, where was I? Okay. Verse 3, and I will make fast thy seeds before me forever and ever, and I will spread abroad those who dwell with thee. It shall not be fruitful on the face of the earth, but it shall be blessed and multiply on the earth in the name of the Lord. And he will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley which my grandfather Enoch had formerly shown to me in the west, among the mountains of gold and silver and iron and soft metal and tin. And I saw that valley in which there was a great convulsion and a convulsion of the waters. And when all this took place, from that fiery molten metal and from the convulsion thereof in that place, there was produced a smell of sulfur. And it was connected with those waters. And the valley of the angels who had led astray mankind burned beneath that land. And through its valleys proceed streams of fire, where these angels are punished who had led astray those who dwell upon the earth. But those waters shall in those days serve for the kings and the mighty and the exalted, and those who dwell on the earth, for the healing of the body, but for the punishment of the spirit. Now their spirit is full of lust, that they may be punished in their body, for they have denied the Lord of spirits and see their punishment daily, and yet believe not on his name. And in proportion as the burning of their bodies becomes severe, a corresponding change shall take place in their spirit forever and ever. See how it's dividing up the spirit with the body, like as far as health goes and everything?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like those people, their spirits change.
Or die.
Yep.
Yeah, or are becoming desolate
unclean.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
So it says, For before the Lord of spirits none shall utter an idle word, for the judgment shall come upon them, because they believe in the lust of their body and deny the Spirit of the Lord. You know, all these people that say there's no such thing as a spiritual realm, that's all just, they say Sky Daddy rumors or whatever, you know, all these mockers. Okay, verse 11 says, and those same waters will undergo a change in those days. I think this is talking about the waters above, myself. For when those angels are punished in these water springs shall change their temperature, and when the angels ascend, this water of the springs shall change and become cold. And I heard Michael answering and saying, this judgment wherewith the angels are judged is a testimony for the kings and the mighty who possess the earth. So I just want to tie this to something before I get to the end here. There's 7 planets, right? Well, some people say 8, but they think Earth is a planet. But as far as in the sky, there's 7 planets. And I think they're in dark waters. And I think that they're imprisoned there and that they are an example to us that we should open our eyes, I think.
I just want to say one Bible verse, Jude 1.
Verse 1 or
Jude, the book of Jude, where it's
talking
the whole
about book of Jude,
where it's talking about those that are reserved in the blackness of darkness.
Yeah, it says raging waves of the sea, foaming out their own shame, wandering stars to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever.
I think that's the prison that this is talking about right here. Those are the same ones.
I think you're right.
That's what I believe.
So Enoch or Noah or Enoch, I don't know whose point of view this is, but it says, and I heard Michael answering and saying, this judgment wherewith the angels are judged is a testimony for the kings and mighty who possess the earth, because these waters of judgment minister to the healing of the body of the kings and the lust of their body. Therefore, they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire which burns forever. Wow.
Ain't that what you just showed on that NASA stream, that they were doing experiments for right there?
Yep. For the it says to benefit life on Earth in areas such as healthcare. There you go. That's exactly what we're talking about. They're always trying to do like whatever. I don't know what they do, but they're trying to do all that kind of stuff, like drugs and.
Yep.
I actually have a video about that.
Mostly pills. I think, to be truthful, I think that's where Xanax came from. They made that drug from. They say it's something to do with zero gravity or something. If I'm not mistaken, you have to look it up. They've made a lot of drugs from the ISS.
Oh, do you remember this Trump video?
Oh,
Drugs
yeah.
that nobody even ever thought of.
It's hilarious.
I made a kind of a joke video where I edited space station
Drugs.
astronauts. Yeah, and they're like, up here we're learning to do drugs, and I just kept using the word drugs in there. I was looking for that one, but I didn't find it. So here did we finish this?
Yep.
Joel?
Oh, no, Joel.
No,
We're
okay.
at 30. We're at
Okay,
30. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. Yep. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. See, remember I told you to keep saying Judah and Jerusalem?
Yep.
They're always together. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
Yeah.
And
love
will
that
plead
name.
with right, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they shall have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and a solid a girl for wine, and they might drink. Ain't those in Revelation, the Mystery Babylon and her harlots?
I'm not getting what you're saying.
The Scarlet Beast and her harlots or something like that. I can't remember what verse it is. It's towards the end of Revelation.
She's the abomination of the earth, I think.
And I
maybe
think
that's not what
I think those wandering stars are her harlots.
That makes sense.
Yeah, or they call them. She's the great whore.
We have a good question here. It might be this might be talking about Enoch that we were just reading, but H. Jesper says, "Who is going to burn?"
The wicked.
The wicked, and I think that's those waters. I think what this is talking about, these angels. Would be the fallen angels that this chapter specifically is talking about. I think if that answers your question, I'm not sure, but. We can continue on.
Where we at? Chapter 3?
Yeah, chapter 3, and I think you were in verse 3? Or did you already read that?
Yeah, Josephat, and okay, yep. This is 3.
Okay.
3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and a solid a girl for wine, and they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? I think you're going to be throwing things on people's heads. Because it says right here, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried them into your temples, my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their borders. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. He sold them he's sold these people to this harlot. And I'm thinking that's like the people believing in space.
Yeah, like being affected by or influenced by seducers, like wandering stars.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wandering stars. Yep. And okay, right here, this is And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to Sabeans, to a people far off, for the Lord have spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. There's those mighty men again.
Yeah.
Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Let them come up.
Yep.
Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble your... Oh, I want to say something. There was a video. Was that Bobby's video the other day? This guy said, he pretty much just said, we're right there, making the weak strong, let them have a voice. He said, man, 8 years ago, I would never get on YouTube and say a thing. Like, I was scared. I couldn't talk in front of people.
Yeah,
But
I
now
couldn't either.
I mean, either. There's a lot of people like that they would never go in front of people and say anything, and now they do it every day.
Like anytime I've tried to go in front of people, like in person, like if there's like a thing, I don't know, like at school or at church or anything, I get so nervous that like not nervous really, but it's like I can't continue. I can't like keep my thought. I can't like. I don't know what happens. Maybe it's vanity or something, but yeah. It's weird how I have no problem doing it on YouTube now, but before I was like, I didn't even want to say anything.
It's like it's on your heart now, ain't it?
Yeah. Well,
Like
and also, I'll tell you what, becoming a flat earther gets you to realize really quickly that it doesn't really matter what everybody thinks of you all the time. It might be more important what you believe and to stand by that.
I just want to throw that out there because that kind of sounds like what he's saying right there.
Yeah.
Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Josaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle and for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for the wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near, in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem. And the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord will be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children of Israel. So shall ye know that I am the Lord your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no stranger pass through her anymore. Right there's telling you that people are going to be passing through Zion.
Yep.
Heavenly Zion.
And it's a sin and a transgression.
And I'm not here to say against what people believe. Like, I'm talking about the truthers saying that you can't get in the firmament, but that one right there alone, like, and it shall come to, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I do. And like, if the word of God says something and in this world, people are like, no. I'll give an example. I was having a conversation with, this is like over a year ago, I think, with Sean Griffin. And we were talking, we were looking at Enoch chapter 18, where it says that God furnished his whole creation with the four winds. And it says, and the firm foundations of the earth. And then it says the four winds bear the earth and the firmament of the heaven. So I'm like, well, that's basically saying that that's the foundation of or the pillars of the earth is the winds. And Sean, I'm not ripping on Sean. I'm just saying that his first take on that was, no, do you think the foundations would be winds? That doesn't make sense. And I'm like, for me, it might not make sense, but I just learned how to make sense of it because Enoch was saying what it was, and I believe him. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. I think
I'm
he
getting
does
that
too.
sound again.
I think he does too. He can't see that. He can't understand what that's saying.
Or maybe he does now. Maybe he's looked at it since then. Who knows? Maybe not. We don't know.
Hey, there were certain people that were seeing certain things, but they were all one group. And
Yes.
some were saying this and some were saying that. That's the way I look at it now.
And they were all part of the same body.
That's
I
right.
think.
They were
Yeah.
that army. Yep.
Yep.
Let's see. 18. And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion.
Awesome.
Dwelleth. That's the end of it.
You know what I feel like? I wanted to just go to Ezekiel quick and to Ezekiel 7 and just show, read a couple of these verses where it's talking about the end. It's clearly talking about the end, and it's talking about God recompensing our abominations that we put into His temple back on our heads. Like,
I'm going to pour a little bit of coffee, so I'm going to mute and let you read that. Yeah, that's very important. You probably see me doing this a lot. I always give Psalms 18:11 and that one, right? And Psalms 20.
It's a secret place. If we don't know, like, because I didn't know without Psalm 18, I wouldn't have known that this was referring to.
Uh-oh. I don't know if I lost you or not. There you go.
I don't know what just happened, but okay, sorry guys, maybe we're back. My screen just went black.
You're black. You're back.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, yep. Can you hear me?
You're black. Okay, cool. Yep, I can hear you loud and clear. I don't know what happened there, but my screen it did like the buffering thing and it turned black. So I was like, uh-oh, I lost everything. Okay, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, also, thou son of man, thus saith the Lord God unto the land of Israel, an end, the end is come upon the four corners of the land. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all the abominations. So I just want to point out that this is talking, that God is saying that these abominations, He's going to recompense them upon the people that are doing it or whatever. And mine eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abominations shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Just think of if, from God's point of view, if we're shooting a bunch of garbage material things up into His celestial place, His secret place, and just look from that point of view and read these words again, the way He says them. But I will recompense thy ways upon thee, like instead of upon him. Like we're recompensing, or not recompense. That's the wrong word. But we're putting things into His tabernacle, and He's gonna kick that stuff right back down on us. That's the way I see it. And it keeps saying, an end is come. The end is come. It watches for thee. Behold, it is come.
Right. It's definitely talking about the end.
Yeah, and I think it's actually a little bit. It is very repetitive in this chapter.
Yeah.
Behold, a day. Behold, it is come. The morning is gone forth. The rod hath blossomed. Pride hath budded. Violence is risen up into a rod of wickedness. What's a rocket? I'm just saying. Think about it. All these references to these flying rolls, these horns. I think this is all talking about all these little technology things that we've learned how to make.
Like the one they launched today?
Sky. Yes, just like that. Yep. A little conical shaped vehicle that they ride in. But down here in let's see, I'll just start in verse 20. I know this is where I'm looking for, I think. As for the beauty of his ornament, he set it in majesty. But they made the images of their abominations and of their detestable things therein. Therefore have I set it far from them. And I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it. My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place. For the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. So when God says that, in order to say, no, God wouldn't let anybody get through the firmament, that seems contradictory to me. And I'm not saying that I know everything or something, but to me, this seems like God's saying that the robbers will enter into it and defile it. They're going to go into his firmament and do things they shouldn't do and place abominations there, and he's going to cast them back down.
And again, just remember what Jesus said in John 10, that robber and that thief.
Yeah, they come to destroy and to kill, and then he says about climbing up some other way into his sheepfold.
That's right.
Interesting.
That's important.
So then it says, make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes. What land?
Can I say something about that?
Yes.
Because I've been saying this a while. It's kind of weird to say. When I see Starlink, I see a chain.
Yep, it is when they
and
first
I know
launched.
I know where his land is. It's up there. So I'm just looking up. I ain't seen Starlink. I know you have.
Yep, I've seen it a few times.
Yeah, I know you have. So
you've seen videos of it though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it looks exactly like that. I mean,
like a chain.
And I would say that it's more in person. It's more intimidating because of just the scale of what you're looking at when you're looking at something up in the sky, and to realize that those things in the heavens are not of God, and definitely go against God.
What if those are the abomination that causes desolation? I know there's the ISS too. I've thought about that.
I think anything up there.
You ain't lying.
Anything, but I don't know specifically, you know.
I know.
It says, the city is full of violence, wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. I just think this is talking, and then 25 says, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. That's crazy. I think that we're learning. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to look at in Zechariah.
You got a little bit. Do you have a little bit of time? I mean, you got 30 more minutes.
Okay. I got time. Yeah.
Okay.
I got time.
Awesome. I just there's a couple other ones I wanted to read.
In Zechariah 2, I think there was something I wanted to read.
That's a good book. And Zechariah is the father of who? Amos is the father of Isaiah.
I'm not sure.
You know, all these people are related in the Old Testament. I know, like, all these people are related. That's weird. I mean, they're all Israel, but
this is not what I'm looking for. Be silent, O all flesh, before the Lord, for he is raised up out of his holy habitation. Interesting. Maybe it's this.
14's good, and Zechariah 14.
And 12, I know 12 is one of the ones I wanted to look at, but I think it's Isaiah 2 that I was actually thinking of, where it's talking about again his holy mountain. But this is an awesome chapter.
For sure.
Should I read this? I feel like I should read this.
It's not that long. Read it. I got some other ones after you get done.
This is Zechariah 12. The burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretcheth forth the heavens, and layeth the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all people round about, when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem. There it is again, how you were saying Judah and Jerusalem.
Yeah,
and
it makes
in
me
that
think,
day,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
It just makes me think of Jesus saying, when you see the army surrounding Jerusalem.
Yep, when you see armies compassed around Jerusalem, know that the day is near, or whatever. In that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. Just think about the truth that we've been talking about, you guys. It seems to be quite significant that there is this kind of debate happening. It's a worldwide debate. Nobody would deny that. Everybody's talking about it, or has been for many years. Welcome, No End Media. Good to see you.
Just think about...
all be forgiven.
Just amen on that. One. Amen. Just think about the world, you know, these people that are wakening up to true creation, and they claim the creators in heaven up there, the Most High, whatever you want to call
Yep.
them. And then you
there's
got
a battle. There's a battle.
Yep.
There's people against that.
There you go. That's it.
It says, in that day, saith the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment and his rider with madness, and I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength in the Lord of hosts their God. In that day I will make the governors of Judah like an hearth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf. And they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left, and Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. So just think of this war, like think of, okay, in Jerusalem, in New Jerusalem, there's a kingdom, it's a heavenly kingdom, and Jesus said it would come down out of heaven from God. And it, to me, if you ask me where truth comes from, this kind of truth we're talking about, it comes from heaven. It's coming down from heaven.
Amen.
So that's, to me, that's just amazing. And it almost seems like, could that actually be happening? No. But then when you look at the situation, you know, the whole situation, it seems like it is. There is a battle, and there is a whole multitude of nations gathered against this idea.
Yep. Yep.
I love this part right here, verse 10. Go ahead.
When it says David here, they shall be as David. I think that's talking about Psalms, Joe. If you dig into Psalms, it's talking about this pit and how they're gathered to this with this net to the pit, and they're in darkness and they're consumed in it. Yeah, I think that's what that's talking about right there. Like the book of Psalms is wow. It's the book of Psalms
dwell
is
in
crazy.
darkness.
Yep.
They dwell in darkness. Verse 10, and I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplications, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him as one is in bitterness for his firstborn. In that day there shall be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadadrimmon in the valley of Megiddon. And the land shall mourn, every family apart, the family of the house of David apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Nathan apart, and their wives apart, the family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart, the family of Shimei apart, and their wives apart, all the families that remain, every family apart, and their wives apart. Wow. So then that kind of leads into this next chapter, actually.
Listen to this.
All right.
These families are being separated apart, right? Mm-hmm. Think about flat Earth and losing your family.
Yep. And then people
just say, throw that there.
People talk about a time of tribulation. I'm not talking about God's wrath, but they talk like there is a time. Jesus said immediately after the tribulation, like there's a tribulation, and like when I think about that, I think a lot of people that speak the truth are definitely dealing with tribulation. Like whatever word you want to use, it means the same thing.
Makes me think of Nathan Robert. Was it Nathan Robert or Nathan Thompson when he went to that church?
Yeah, Nathan, that's a good video. We could watch that video maybe too later if we want.
That sounds good.
I named it "The Gospel Must Be Preached," I think. Shout out to Nathan Thompson. That was a good video that he made. Very good.
His cousin was like the firmament.
Yep.
I love that.
Trevor Mishler. That's
Trevor.
Who that was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trevor.
Okay, so this chapter is also short. I kind of want to read it.
Read it.
Because it seems to be talking about the same thing. So it kind of continues from the last one. In that day there shall be a fountain opened to the house of David, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, for sin and for uncleanness. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to pass out of the land. And it shall come to pass that when any shall yet prophesy, then his father and his mother that begat him shall say unto him, Thou shalt not live, for thou speakest lies in the name of the Lord. And his father and his mother that begat him shall thrust him through when he prophesieth. And it shall come to pass in that day that the prophets shall be ashamed every one of his vision when he hath prophesied, neither shall they wear a rough garment to deceive. But he shall say, I'm no prophet, I am an husbandman, for man taught me to keep cattle from my youth. And one shall say unto him, What are these wounds in thine hands? Then he shall answer, Those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn mine hand upon the little ones. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, It is my people, and they shall say, The Lord is my God. That's awesome.
Yeah, when it's talking about they're getting cut off, that makes me think of the that flying roll where they're cut off on this side or cut off on that side, according to
the
it.
curse. The curse that's in low Earth orbit.
Yeah.
The destroyers of Jerusalem destroyed. That's a good one too.
That's actually the right here. Let me just read this short part, 15 on 11, verse 11 out of that Zechariah. And the Lord said unto me, Take unto thee yet the instruments of a foolish shepherd. For lo, I will raise up a shepherd in the land which shall not visit those that be cut off, neither shall seek the young one, nor heal that is broken, nor feed that standeth still, but he shall eat the flesh of the fat and tear their claws in pieces. Woe to the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock, the sword shall be upon his arm, and upon his right eye. His arm shall be clean, dried up, and his right eye shall be, utter. Wow, listen to this, Joe.
Where are you? I'm trying to find out where you were.
I'm in chapter 11.
Okay. I'm sorry.
It's talking about the curse and them being cut off.
Okay, in Zechariah 11.
Yeah, 11:15 is where I started.
Okay,
cool. The title of that is called "The Example and a Curse of a Foolish Shepherd."
Oh, it's a shepherd that isn't keeping watch over his flock.
Remember, he said, I am the shepherd. In John 10, he said, I am the good shepherd. So the shepherd that climbeth up another way is the bad shepherd.
Or
and
the
he
sheep.
Said, well, there's the shepherd that leads them sheep to do that.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
This is pretty much like the son of perdition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he comes to kill and destroy. That he's the thief and the robber, but he's leading people. But this right here where it says, and upon his right, Jesus said, if your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it off. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off.
Yep.
And that's what he's saying right here. And upon his right eye, his arm shall be clean dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened. Man, I swear the other day I was listening to that and I was thinking, listen, this is crazy. When you hold what do they call those? You got one, like a telescope.
Mm-hmm.
And you put your right eye to it and you look up into the darkness. You're looking at the star. I'm not saying whatever.
No, I'm hearing you.
That makes me. What are they doing? They're looking at the stars. They're looking at the planets.
They're worshiping the stars and the host of heaven.
And the host of heaven. They're using their right eye and their right hand to hold the instrument.
Very interesting.
It's like their death. It's going to kill them.
I wonder if that's that's a good point, what you're saying. Very good point.
I thought about that like months ago, but I listened to that, that it's the teachings of Jesus at night, the one I sent you or put on the the share message, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what is it? No Greater Love channel. It's got like the teachings or the, what are they called? The commandments of Jesus. It's got like music, soft music playing in it. But he keeps saying that. He says, if your right eye causeth you to sin, pluck it out. And if your right hand causeth you to sin, cut it off. And I'm thinking, is that people holding a telescope looking up into the night sky and like worshiping the stars?
Well, if it's misleading you, if it's causing you to wander, causing you to stray away from the truth, think about it.
What does it say? Where does it say that, Joe, where they're like stargazers and it's somewhere in the scripture it says that they seek to search the stars or something. I can't remember where it's at.
It might be in the book of Acts, maybe.
It's either Acts or Romans.
I know that in Acts it talks quite a bit about the worship of the stars.
I wanted to say something about this right here, though. Where was it at? Oh, man, I lost it. Oh, you just read it. Where was you at right here?
In chapter... chapter 13. That was chapter 13, the prophets.
Come on, Lord. Let me find it. Where was it at? The people...
And it shall come to pass when any shall yet prophesy. That part, or no?
No, it says that he'll let the prophets pass through it and here it is right here. Okay. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirits to pass out of the land.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see where you're at.
Remember in Enoch, I was telling you that the prophets, he sends, if he's sending the unclean spirits through that land up there, and you're saying astronauts are sus.
Yeah, and they're coming out of the mouth of the dragon and all that jazz.
Why is he saying he's going to send the prophets also?
I will cause the prophets. I have actually wondered that since I've read this like years ago. I've wondered that. I don't understand what that's saying. And I will also cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to pass out of the land. Maybe it's talking about false prophets.
No, I think it would.
Yeah, it would say false prophets, wouldn't it?
Okay. Did God not tell Daniel he'd have to come back and stand in his lot?
Yes.
Did God not tell John he would have to come back and prophesy for many days?
Yep.
Did God not say to Isaiah and Jeremiah, you will come and speak these words?
I'm not sure specifically, but I mean, that's why they wrote it down. That's the
way
whole
it sounds is when he's telling Isaiah or Jeremiah or David, he's telling them like, you're going to declare these things to the nations.
Yeah.
Go tell these people, and they'll tell those people and those people. When I read this, I'm thinking, I don't even know how to put that into words, man. If the unclean spirits
I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there.
I think I know what you're saying, though.
You know what I'm saying. I know you do. It's just hard to fathom that, ain't it? Like,
it is hard to put it to words because there's so many different.
And this time we're living in, you don't even know who you're talking to. Like, you never know.
I like this. I know where I'm gonna go.
We read Joel, right? Yeah.
Yep, we read Joel.
This is what we should be doing, man. I'll be real with you, Joe. This is what.
We should go through all these. We should go through like every one of these over the next couple weeks or whatever. We should.
Whatever, yeah.
And Tony was saying he'd be, willing to come on. He was even thinking maybe today, but I didn't want to rush it or nothing. But maybe next week Tony can come and hang. If you guys don't know Tony's Coffee House, he's an awesome channel to go to, especially like for Bible studies and just for straight up.
And he plays some good
learning
music.
about the Bible. And he plays music. And
he got me hooked on.
It's like home base for a lot of us.
What's it called? Oh man, I forgot the name of the band now. Tony knows.
And then what's the other one?
Cloud.
And then there's also Yaz.
Slow burn. Yeah.
What's the other one? It's a channel.
Yaz Will Soaring.
Soaring, yeah, Yaz Will Soaring. Yep.
He plays guitar. He's good.
Yeah, he just plays guitar and sings.
It's very peaceful over there. You don't get criticized. They speak the scriptures.
And if you're lucky, every once in a while, Tony will do a good rant.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
We all do that.
Yep. I like when Tony rants because he does it from like such an honest
right.
place. Like he's not afraid. Like I'm like some things I don't want to be like too clear, or like I don't want to say too much and offend somebody or something like that. Tony's like, he just says what it is. Like, and he's like, well, if you're gonna be offended, leave then. I like
Right.
that. There's something good there. I forgot what I was gonna look for.
Well, we still got.
Oh, it was in Isaiah chapter 2. Remember I was talking about I wanted
That's right.
to.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll look that up real quick here. Whoops, not Song of Solomon.
I can read one out of Obadiah.
Oh yeah, do it.
Let me just read Obadiah. It's only one chapter.
Okay.
That one's while you're doing that.
That sounds good. I'll
That's a good
mute.
one. Yeah. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among ye heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. This is so they're in those rocks again. They're on high. There's those rocks again, and they're on high. They're exalting themselves as eagles, and they're going among the stars. But this is very important right here. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? There's that cut off again. So there's the thief and the robber that climbs up another way. Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How art the things of Esau searched out? Remember I said Esau was the last, who are his hidden things sought up. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Taman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one out of mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, there's Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the stranger carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape, neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of the Lord is near. This is how you know it's talking about the end. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. There he is, throwing things on their heads. For as ye have drunken upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain, the Philistines, I can't say that word, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead, and the captivity of his host of the children of Israel shall possess that of the Kenathins, even unto, I can't say these words, Zarephath, and the captivity of Jerusalem, which is in Sephard, shall possess the cities of the south. And saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. So these are like people going up on high, entering into the gates. This
Just
is
like John 10.
Yep, this is like the war right here going on up in the heavens. Yep. And they're getting drunk, for as ye have drunken upon the holy mountain.
Yep.
Some are getting drunk off of her cup, and some are getting drunk off the Lord's cup.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the Lord's cup because because his device is against Babylon.
That's right.
So like he can use evildoers to do evil.
So think about the people that are, they're praising that there's a creator in heaven, and then think about the people that are like fighting against that. No, there's no heaven like that. You're crazy. Where's that in Jeremiah? They say there is no God.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure where that is.
For the Lord seeth not. He's forsake the earth. They say that there's no God.
That's in Ezekiel. That's in Ezekiel too. Yeah. Where he's it says like he has forsaken the earth. Yeah, like he left. Yeah, he don't know what's going on. Isn't keeping an eye on it or whatever.
In Isaiah, it keeps saying, like chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, it keeps saying, and my hand I stretch it out, like I'm keep taking them.
Mm-hmm.
I keep taking them. It just keeps saying that every chapter. They're doing all these bad things, and the Lord's still taking them. He's still grabbing them with his hand. But then in Amos, and who's the father of Isaiah, in Amos 9, he says, my hand taketh them, and then I let them down. I throw them down. Like, It just sounds like he's allowing them to do what they're doing. His hand is still stretched out. He's giving them time to repent.
That's what it says in that vision of St. Paul. It repeats it many, many, many times. That it says something like, but God would rather that everyone repented, because he doesn't want anyone. He'd rather have everyone repent and follow him. Like that's what he would want.
God didn't make anything that he didn't want to be glorious and be successful, his creation and people.
So in Isaiah 2, are you still reading? I'm sorry.
No, I'm done. Obadiah's done.
Okay. Isaiah 2, I just like when in Obadiah it mentioned the deliverance in Jerusalem. I think that's right in here too. The word that Isaiah son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Lord. I love that. So it said in Joel that in Zion and in Jerusalem will be deliverance. And I personally think that this truth we're talking about could be what that's talking about. Like
Coming
there's going to
down
be
from heaven.
deliverance if you are following the Lamb.
That's right. I see it the same way you're seeing it, man. Be truthful with you.
So I'm
amazing.
realizing it's 6:35 and I got a few things to take care of before the day's up. So we should get off pretty soon. I'm not in any super rush.
The sky's still there, so I guess that wasn't the dragon, was it?
Yeah, I guess. Not this round.
That's the way I look at it. I'm for real.
I've often wondered too if it's on if like how you said I don't remember which scriptures, but like if the Falcon Heavy launched and two boosters like slammed into each other,
Yeah.
Like that's some scary stuff to think about. Like the ISS. What if the ISS deorbited, like unplanned deorbit? What I'm saying is, what if God cast it down? Everyone in the world would see, like it would take like an hour or 2 hours, but everyone in the world would see that. They would see it in the sky. They would see all these sparks and all these meteor-looking things going down, falling to the ground, falling on people's heads, and then these 4,000 satellites that SpaceX has up there now, those all fall, and those things are big. They wouldn't all burn up. They would burn. Part of them would burn up, but they would fall to the ground and probably hit people's houses and stuff. I'm just saying, this is a real possibility.
What if they've had explosions this is what I'm trying to think. They've had explosions in the sky, many of them, like in the earth, on the earth, up there, whatever. What if that happened through the winds or in the winds? They exploded like that. That's what I'm kind of getting at. I got two more if you got 15 minutes maybe.
Yeah, I just want to say hi to Wesley Curry. Seems to be kind of insulting a little bit. So try to be kind in the chat with your words. Wesley, thank you. Go ahead, Thomas.
We're only here to share some truth. So like, all these Nahum, if I was going to suggest anything, listen from, what is that, Hosea through Zechariah. Just listen to it straight through, like all of them. Nahum, Habakkuk. But Nahum right here, an army will conquer. There's just different names. Nineveh, I can't say that word.
Nineveh,
there you go, yep. It says right here in, was that chapter 2, verse 3, the shields of his mighty men is made red, the violent men, is that violent? No, violent, maybe that's violent men are in scarlet. The chariots shall be with flaming torches in the day of his preparation, and the fir tree shall be terribly shaken. The chariots shall rage in the streets, they shall jostle one against another in the broad ways. Remember Jesus said, broad is the way that leads to destruction, and narrow is the way through.
Yeah.
Yep. They shall seem like torches, they shall run like the lightning. I definitely wonder. Yeah.
Jesus saw Satan fall from heaven like lightning.
Yep. Here's another one down here in 13. Let me read 10. She is empty and void and waste, and the heart melteth, and the knees smite together, and much pain is in all loins, and the faces of them are all gathered blackness. That's 2:10, and this is 13. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will burn her chariots in the smoke, and the sword shall devour thy young lions. There's those lions again. I will cut off thy prey from the earth, and the voice of thy messengers shall no more be heard. As the ones I wanted to read there. Nahum.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the other one here is Habakkuk. I could probably just read chapter 1. It ain't much.
Yeah, go for it. I'm not in a super rush or nothing. I was just saying eventually. So
I hear you. Yeah, I gotta be. I drop at 6:30 anyway. The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see, O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Why dost thou show me iniquity, and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that rise up strife and contention. Therefore the law is slacked, and the judgment due never goeth forth. For the wicked doeth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. Behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days. See, he's saying to me, and this is like Isaiah, and he's saying in your days, like, I don't know. That's why I was talking about this.
To the prophet talking about specifically the time that they're living in.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Well, no. I'm talking about, like, I know this is like the day of the Lord. This is the end.
And that's kind of, it seems like all these prophets are saying that. I mean, what's on the screen right now, Isaiah 2, and it shall come to pass in the last days.
Yep. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. Their horses also are swifter than the leopards, and are more fierce than the evening wolves. And their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far. They shall fly as the eagle that has not eat. They shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up as the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sand. And they shall scoff at the kings, and the princes shall be a scorn unto them. They shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it. Then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, in putting this his power unto his God, Lord G God. Art thou not from everlasting, O Lord, my God, my Holy One? We shall not die, O Lord. Thou hast ordained them for judgment. See, this is the judgment. This is the great throne judgment. And Almighty God, thou hast established them for correction. Thou art of purer eyes than to behold evil, and canst not look on iniquity. Remember, Jesus said that the workers of iniquity, I just wanted to throw that out there again. He said that they'd come to him in that day, and they would be like, we did this in your name, we did that in your name.
And he would say,
depart from me.
Yeah.
Wherefore lookest thou upon them that deal treacherously, and holdest my tongue when the wicked devoureth the man that is more righteous than he? And makest men as the fishes of the sea, as the creepy things that have no ruler over them. They take up all of them with the angle, they catch them in their net. This is Psalms right here. And gather them in their drag, therefore they rejoice and are glad. Therefore they sacrifice unto their net, and burn incense unto their drag. Before by them their portion is fat, and their meat plenteous. Shall they therefore empty their net, and not spear continuously to slay the nations? This is like the wicked are gathering other people with that net. And I said Psalms because David talked about that net a lot. I think Jeremiah did too. Like they're like Satan's gathering them with people that are wicked, being led by Satan. They're like gathering them to the net, to the pit, or it's sometimes it says to the ends of the earth.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's space, man. They're gathering. They're the teachers, the false teachers. They're teaching people not to believe in God, and they're teaching the solar system, and
that God isn't even there. You know.
There you go. They're gathering them with the net to the pit.
Yep.
It's sad. It's crazy. It's scary just even thinking about that. Yeah, that was pretty. Let's see. That was all I had highlighted, but it just seems like even the minor prophets. That was my meaning today. It's what I wanted to get out.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you took the notes last night.
All these minor prophets, they seen this same people being on high, going up among the stars, going over the wall, flying with chariots that looked like flaming torches that shook the heavens.
Reached up to heaven and is lifted up even to the skies.
It's to me, it's almost every prophet I read says something about this: the thief and the robber, or the wicked, and it's all a similar story, man. It's crazy. I can't. You know, if I heard one person say something, well, just Isaiah said that, yeah, that'd be one thing.
But when they all say it,
you ain't lying. There's no way you can't deny this. This is happening right now.
And they're all they're all writing this at different times. I'm getting that sound real bad, but
Okay, let me flip
I don't
over.
we're almost done. I don't want to make you do that again.
Oh, ain't nothing.
I do have a video I want to play at the end. It's just like a short, fun video. So, because you know, when we're talking about this kind of stuff, it can get like repetitive, I guess. But I think there's a reason why it's repeated in all these prophets.
Listen to this one, Joe. I just want to read this last one. It's in Hosea.
Okay.
It's I put Daniel 7 beside it because it says it's in 13 and it's verse 7. Therefore I will be unto them as a lion, as a leopard, by the way will I observe them.
Yeah, the leopard that watches over their cities.
Boom, Jeremiah 5. Yep.
Where was that in Hosea?
That's 13:7.
Okay.
Listen to the next
Therefore
one.
I will be unto them as a lion, as a leopard, by the way will I observe them. Whoa! I will meet them as a bear that is bereaved of her whelps, and will rend the call of their heart. And there will I devour them like a lion. The wild beast shall tear them. Wow.
See, it's the Lord allowing. It's like His will that this be done. Like He's not doing. He's okay.
He uses them. Yeah.
Boom! You just said it. Took the words out of my mouth.
He uses them as a device against the evil.
The other day I was on what was that? Brother Sanchez. I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah, I do, or I don't know who he is. I've heard him on FTFE.
Yeah, he's preaching the gospel, but he's against the whole Bible thing. He thinks man wrote it, but whatever. But I know what he's doing. I can see it.
Yep, you can see he's preaching the truth anyway.
He's preaching the truth. Yeah. So the other day, this guy kept saying, "Your God, He can't even kill the devil." And I put in there, I said, my God, the God of Israel, is so smart. He allows the devil to kill himself.
Yeah, he makes the devil take care of himself.
Yep.
Exactly.
He don't kill. God ain't got to kill.
Yep.
God allows the sinners to devour themselves.
Exactly.
Straight up, the wicked. Yep.
And it's like they sink into Sheol on their own. They want to. They go towards the darkness because they don't believe in the light. They gravitate towards it. And interesting that I use the word gravitate. But anyway, are we ready for our to-go video? It's called It's called So We Swallow Our Toothpaste.
Then let me just say, goodbye to everybody. And
yeah, anything you want to say? I mean, like I said, I'm not in a super big rush. I just
ain't a big deal. I gotta catch some sleep anyway. Thank
Tom,
God
you're in North Carolina. You said today.
Yeah,
you guys notice every week we do this. He's in a different part of the country.
Yeah,
so he's doing this from the road. I think that's pretty cool to be able to do that while you're on the road is not easy.
It sucks not being able to see my family every night, be with my kids every night.
Yeah, that's rough.
The money I make takes care of them, pretty much where all of it goes. But the main thing, I'm blessed to be able to have time, man, just to keep searching and
yeah. I'm a little jealous, actually. Like, I'm not saying
kind of jealous of myself.
I'm a little jealous because of. Like, I mean, obviously you got communication with your team and all that stuff while you're driving. You got waste stations and all this jazz to do, but not very many interruptions for hours at a time. Probably. Yep. That's what I like. I would love to get less distractions in my life and where I could focus for a longer period of time. You know what I'm saying?
I would say, hey, man, I'll help you get a CDL, but let me tell you, there's not much time for that, so don't even worry about it.
There ain't no time for that, no.
There ain't.
It's like I'll be building something, and I sometimes I can just put on some scripture and just listen to it and let it sink in, but almost, at least a couple times an hour, my phone's going off, and people need answers and all that, and I'm just like, man, this world is just full of distractions.
Oh, yeah. Man, I say that all the time. I watch people in traffic and how they're in a hurry and they're trying to get where they're going. They're literally like trying to wreck people. Like, I don't think they're trying to, but they're just in such a hurry. And I'm thinking in my mind, I bet them people right there, they still believe they live on a globe. They ain't seeing none of this stuff. Like, because they're such in a hurry or they're like in a rush to make money and
what's it called when your eyes are seeing like tunnel vision or something. They're not.
They're
They don't
stuck
have
in it,
peripheral
yeah.
vision, and because we're
No.
so busy, we're all so busy with everything, and we all
Trying to
have
survive.
these
Yep.
personal agendas that everyone has. I mean, I have them myself. Everyone has them.
Yep.
That don't even have anything to do with what life is about. It's just like so you can make it to the next day. It seems like
This ain't even life, folks. We're what's coming up next
we're
is
hoping
life.
for that. Yeah, we're hoping for that. This would be like maybe even like the proving grounds or whatever you want to call it.
Getting ready time. Yep.
Preparation.
And we're even talking about we're even talking about the dead ones too. Yep.
Yep.
Like
that's
this
true.
is the judgment.
And I think it
Crazy.
is taking place right before our eyes.
I do too. I see it.
Truth and the law of God are what judge.
That's
they are
right.
the judge. Like they're the
law.
judge. And yeah, the law. If you
The
think
law
about
is the word.
it says the
All of
law
it.
goes forth from Mount Zion.
That's right. Yep.
So and again, I think it's his prophets that wrote these scriptures that I think that they're in spirit or however, I'm not sure how it works, but I'm just saying I think they're prophesying. When we read these things, it's not us just reading. We're reading their words and they're speaking them, because we just hear them.
The
If Thomas
Spirit's doing
reads
it.
it, we just heard it. You know what I mean? If Pastor
Ain't that
Lawson
what it
reads
says?
it, we just heard it.
Ain't that what it says in Revelation, Joe? That don't worry about what you're gonna say. The Spirit's gonna speak for you.
I like
Something
what
like that.
H. Jasper E. says, something very important here.
What we
I'll
got?
put it up on screen. Yeah, still don't abandon your families and friends about your tunnel vision. Like if you had tunnel vision and stuff, or if they do, just remember.
Love them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes,
Sure.
definitely. Definitely.
But there might Jesus said that there might be a time where you gotta pick up your stuff, dust your feet off, and move to the next town. Sometimes you have to. I'm not saying
but
to
you
do
can
that.
do
but
that. You can do that while you
in a
still
loving manner.
maintain
Yep.
a close relationship with
Yep.
your family.
Yep.
You can.
People aren't your enemy. Period. No humans are your enemy. No, not at all.
That's right. We're not struggling against flesh and blood.
No.
There's these evil spirits in the sky that have fooled all of mankind over the ages.
That Paul, that Ephesians 6, man, that kind of changed my life, Joe. I'm for real.
Yep. I love that one.
When people cut me off or just doing stupid stuff, most of the time
Just love
before
'em.
before I'd be like, you MFer, I'd be mad. But now I'm just like, look at that one. He's lost. He don't know what he's doing.
Remember when Jesus saw the multitudes of people and he had compassion on them because he saw that they didn't have a shepherd, like they didn't have any leader. They weren't led to any truth or anything. It was like they were just wandering around, and he had compassion on them. He didn't mock them or.
That's right.
Do you get what I'm saying? He loved them, and
that's following the Lamb right there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's following the Lamb.
Are we ready to wrap up?
For
We're
sure.
ready.
Much love, everybody.
Thomas,
we'll see y'all
thank
next
you
week.
again. I appreciate
Yes, sir.
doing this is so much fun.
For sure,
and I
man.
think it's just I love having. But this is a deep Bible study. That's what we're doing.
Lime.
So
Yep.
I like that. So you guys, this video we're gonna watch is called. Oh, I had it and I lost it. It's called "So We Swallow Our Toothpaste."
Oh, Lord.
You guys, some of you might know what it's about. It's a short
Fluoride.
2-minute video, but after this, we're going to shut it down. And I thank you, everyone, for coming.
Real.
And
much love.
Keep seeking the truth. And if you found the truth, speak it boldly.
Share it,
from
yep.
the rooftops.
That's it. Give your testimony.
Yes, that you may be justified.
That's
and
right.
say it is truth. All right. So we swallow
Peace.
our toothpaste. Much love, everyone.
In space.
I was very sad to see that.
Wow. Amazing, amazing.
It's called real good engineering. Okay,
for satellite.
So there are no flat surfaces on a football. That's what I mean by right.
But we are all standing under a glass ceiling right now. And the light is shining through.
Right here on Earth.
I'm Matt.
It's magic, you know. Then you have a leak.
Gee, why would I care?
How can anyone?
In space. In space.
What it does is it takes your physical abilities to places they have never gone before.
Gee, why would I care?
In space.
Well,
Wherever it is, I don't like it, and I'm getting out of here.
In space. To life becoming multiplanetary.
Gee, why would I care?
Helping make life multiplanetary.
So we swallow our toothpaste.
Ha ha!